lost Culpepper. We lost respect. I think they forgot about us up here.
Can anybody hear me?
They all thought that the season was over. But we waited. Something's bound to come around. And it did. Now, we got a chance. 40 years. I'm tired of waiting. We're not gonna let this one go yet.
The Vikings' playoff chances don't need a 5-minute explanation. In fact, they're quite simple. Win and stay alive. Lose and say goodbye. The Ravens block the road tonight in Baltimore. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick. It's great to have you with us. After all they have been through, it is really hard to imagine that the Vikings still have a shot at the playoffs. But winning 6 of the last 7 games and coming back from the dead has given them the shot. The one constant during this streak, quarterback Brad Johnson. And the one constant during his career, wherever we have seen him play, Joe, 3 different places, has been that he is a winner.
And Mike, you know the amazing thing is he is the oldest starting quarterback in the National Football League at the age of 37. Certainly the Minnesota Vikings will go as Brad Johnson goes. In 6 wins, he did very well. The 1 loss against Pittsburgh last week, he didn't play very well. Now, people have said that he is just a manager of games. Well, he's managed quite well. He's got a Super Bowl ring. He's been to the playoffs a number of times. If there's going to be a leader of this football team to take the Vikings and give them a chance to get to the playoffs, it's going to be Brad Johnson. But tonight he has his work cut out for him. Tonight it's not a night of management. The Ravens are coming after him. He's going to have to make plays.
That's for sure. Thank you, Joe. With 2 games left in a season of disappointment for the Ravens, and it was a season that started with playoff hopes and beyond, there are 3 high-profile guys, Paul, here in Baltimore whose future is very much in doubt.
And one of them is head coach Brian Billick. Under Brian Billick, 5 years ago, they won a Super Bowl. What has he done for him lately? Not much. 3 years ago, they went out and they drafted #1 quarterback Kyle Bowler and literally gave him the job. He's been very disappointing. They told him last week, they said, you have 3 weeks to prove to us that you're going to be our starting quarterback next year. Which brings us to Jamal Lewis. Jamal Lewis, 2 years ago, rushed for over 2,000 yards, and he almost set an NFL rushing record. What has he done since then? He's been disappointing. This is going to be one tough test for all 3 of these guys tonight.
All right, thank you, Paul. And when we come back, Susie on what has truly been a season of turmoil for Mike Tyson, the Vikings.
Welcome back to Baltimore, where it's a must-win for the Vikings as they continue to climb out of that deep hole created by a 2-5 start. Of course, their play on the field only half the story. Over the last 10 months, Mike Tyson and the Vikings have gotten way too much airtime on SportsCenter.
Vikings head coach Mike Tice did scalp tickets to the league's championship game.
I've made mistakes. I was embarrassed, and I embarrassed my family.
Culpepper, the Coach Tice, the Red McComb things, I'm leaving all that in Minnesota.
Smith was detained in a Minneapolis airport after police found an elaborate device called the original Whizzinator.
Ontario Smith officially suspended for the season.
The Hennepin County Sheriff is investigating an alleged sex party. 2 chartered boats carrying upwards of 30 Minnesota Vikings.
Coach, you were quoted as saying that you have not talked to any of your players
Anything about the game, please. Thank you very much.
Accountability and responsibility.
Surviving the storm, and that's what this team must do.
A win would be nice. I'd take that.
And when will this misery end?
I'm not a doctor, obviously, but the initial tests are not good. Things happen that are devastating, but we have to rally around Brad.
What a great job and a perfect throw by Brad Johnson.
Touchdown! Johnson came left, caught Marcus Robinson.
Brad Johnson just looks like he's in control.
Touchdown!
off-field boat trip is right back in the news.
4 Vikings now facing misdemeanor charges.
It will be a distraction to our football team.
The Vikings' quest for 7 in a row is underway. Johnson looks right, steps up. Now he flips it, and it's intercepted. Another costly mistake for the Vikings.
Yeah, the wheels are coming off now.
Through it all, his players insist Tice has done a tremendous job keeping the team together, focused, and upbeat. Tice told us, if I'm not strong, how could I expect them to be strong? Mike, they'll put that to the test again tonight.
Thank you, Susie. ESPN presents Visa Skycam, innovative technology that gives you a unique angle that no other single camera in the world can achieve. And we're proud to bring it to you every Sunday night. Ravens and the Vikings from Baltimore after this.
This is the last one in our house. All I got to say is Merry Christmas and have fun. Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3. Dominate. Yes, sir.
Welcome back to Baltimore for the Vikings and the Ravens. Merry Christmas. Hope you had a wonderful day with your family. Take a look at the division leaders. These are updated. Seattle and Chicago have won their divisions, and they have each clinched a first-round bye. Seattle home field throughout the NFC playoff. Tampa Bay and the New York Giants can each clinch the division with a win next week. Here are the rest of the contenders. Carolina can clinch a playoff berth if they win next week. So can Washington. Dallas needs a win and help. Minnesota needs 2 wins and help. So it's very simple for the Minnesota Vikings. You win tonight, you win next week, or you can forget it.
Nobody likes to hear that word help. You've got to do it on your own.
And you have to wonder, though, now the Chicago Bears have clinched, how many players will they play next week against the Minnesota Vikings?
Corin Robinson, who makes his first Pro Bowl as a kick returner and is back to return the opening kickoff. Robinson's got that speed, gets up to the 30-yard line, and he is crushed by B.J. Ward.
Mike, the Baltimore Ravens try to get cute on the kickoff, and they're offside. They had guys going up, faking the kick, faking this, faking that, and they forgot to stay onside.
Offside, number 81 of the kicking team. 5 yards from the end of the run, first down.
DeVar Darling was offside.
I mean, what do you, on the opening kickoff, if you're going to onside kick it, go ahead and do it. They danced around and danced around, and they got a guy offside.
So the Vikings will start from the 36-yard line. Michael Bennett is the single setback behind Brad Johnson. And Johnson to throw. Bennett, little swing. Got great speed. 45-yard line, very close to a first down. Injuries have thinned the Vikings' offensive line this year. Rookie Marcus Johnson won the job at left tackle, but a bad ankle puts Mike Rosenthal back in. Corin Robinson has resurrected his career in Minnesota after a major rehab. He has given them big plays. And Brad Johnson has resurrected the whole team since Dante Culpepper was hurt. He is 6-1 as the starter. Another little swing. This is Burleson. And Nate Burleson to midfield, brought down by Deion Sanders.
How many times can you say that? Brought down by Deion
First
Sanders.
time I have ever said it. For the Ravens defense, Kelly Gregg has a shot at a 100-tackle season. It's quite an accomplishment for an interior lineman. Dallas Thomas has become a star on a unit that's full of them. His versatility has made him Baltimore's MVP. And Ed Reed is back after missing much of the year with a bad ankle. Last season, he was the league's defensive most valuable player. Marcus Robinson, number 87, is in as the third wide receiver for Brad Johnson. Instead, they'll give it on the draw play to Bennett, and Bennett brought down by Bart Scott, who has been a wonderful surprise for this ball club, playing middle linebacker in place of the irreplaceable Ray Lewis.
This is one of those deals where you have a shot, you take it. You don't let anybody dance around. Scott just saw the runner come up, and watch what he does. Boom, to see the runner, now make your move. You can't wait, because if you wait, he's going to juke you and he's gone.
The guys who have come in to play for injured players have proven themselves stars on this defense that was just already loaded with talent. Third and long for Johnson. Underneath, he's got the first down at the 41-yard line. And it's his tight end, Richard Angulo, who was going to be inactive tonight, but is up with the active roster and makes the catch.
That's the kind of pressure that the Ravens want to bring on Brad Johnson, but it doesn't faze him. He's seen so much, sits in the pocket, knows exactly where he wants to put the ball, has the highest completion percentage of anybody through the history of the league, over 60% for consecutive years, and that's why.
And his fourth all-time. He has always been very smart, very accurate. Mewelde Moore gets his first carry, and Moore pounds his way inside the 20-yard line before he's driven out of bounds.
When you're a pressure defense like the Ravens are, you can't miss tackles. We saw two good tackles. Now here's one that's missed. Right up the middle, doesn't make the play. Kimo Ayutu misses the tackle. You got to make them. If you're going to be a gap defense, you've got to fill your gap.
Impressive opening drive for the Minnesota Vikings. Johnson straight back under some pressure, steps up, has the completion down to the 13-yard line. Corin Robinson, who had such a tough ride out in Seattle. And here are the numbers on Brad Johnson: 61%, 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 61%. And yet people are always saying, hey, you know, Brad Johnson, gee whiz.
You know what he does?
He had somebody else.
Michael, you know what he does is just so impressive. You just got to watch him in the pocket. It doesn't matter who's coming, Joe. He just stands there. He's going to make a play. He's going to take a whack. It doesn't bother him.
Kleinsasser and Wiggins, a pair of tight ends. Here comes the blitz. Johnson, end zone, touchdown, Travis Taylor.
You know what? That's as much Travis Taylor and Brad Johnson, but the guys that deserve 90% of the credit, that offensive line. What an excellent job he does. Chris McAllister just gets frozen. Watch this move by, he's just going to come right down inside and make the move. I mean, good protection, the blitz, you're one-on-one, you're on an island. Chris McAllister doesn't even get out of his back shuffle, and the ball's gone.
Let's see, Brad Johnson on that drive would be 5 for 5, 43 yards, and a touchdown.
Seemed to have solved that red zone problem that they had last week.
It looked like they solved everything. The Vikings take the opening kickoff and drive the length of the field for the touchdown. 7-0 Minnesota. Brad Johnson and the Vikings offense made that look rather simple against one of the NFL's best defenses.
Well, you had 2 good tackles early, and then all of a sudden a missed tackle results in a big run. You get down into the red zone where you've really not been very successful this year, and you look terrific.
4 of the 7 plays were for better than 10 yards. Chester Taylor on the return doesn't make the 30-yard line. Good start for the Vikings, who are still alive and playing like it. Now it's the Ravens' turn. That was Super Bowl 35. The Ravens beat the Giants 34-7, and Ray Lewis took home the MVP honors.
And now Jim Fossil, who was the coach of the Giants in that game, is the offensive coordinator of the Ravens.
Nice to get a chance to see Jim before the game. Jamal Lewis and Obi Mahaley are the running backs. Take a look at that Ravens offense. The line has struggled at times this year, but Jonathan Ogden is still the anchor, a 9-time Pro Bowler at left tackle. Todd Heap is the Ravens' all-time leader in catches and yards, coming off his best game of the year, 9 for 110. And Kyle Bowler had the game of his life last week. Now the organization wants to see him do it again. Bowler to throw in rhythm, something he did so well a week ago. And this one to Derek Mason, his 75th grab of the year.
Being decisive is a key for a quarterback. And what he did on that play is he got back, made up his mind where he wanted to go with the football and got rid of it. Something we saw all last week in the game against Green Bay. So far, the carryover looks good. I know, don't look at me. It's one pass, but it's still something to build on.
No, it's a nice way to get him started on a short pass. And a first down.
Play action. And Bowler helped out by Mason with a sensational catch.
I'll tell you what, Derek Mason has got such great hands. And this is all hands. He's coming across the middle. And people say, you know what, you got to be tough coming across the middle. First of all, you're not going to get hit until you get the ball. But watch Mason. Look at his hands. Just great concentration. No matter what you do, you can't do anything against that.
Antoine Winfield was right there. Good throw, better catch. Lewis. Jamal Lewis and Chester Taylor, his backup, will both be unrestricted free agents at the end of the year. Pat Williams has solidified the Vikings up front, not just clogging the middle, but making a remarkable 77 tackles. Another former Buffalo star, Sam Cowart, has made a difference too. He's the team's #1 tackler at middle linebacker. And another free agent, Darren Sharper, has 8 of Minnesota's 23 interceptions, each total #2 in the league. Bowler with good protection, throws to Heap, his favorite receiver. And Heap down to the 45-yard line where Brian Williams got it. In his last game before a national audience on Monday night, Kyle Bowler had his best performance as a pro. Threw for 253 yards, 3 touchdowns, made one good decision after another. The Vikings romped over the Packers 48-3. Todd Heap had a pair of touchdown catches in that game. Now Chester Taylor comes in on 3rd and short.
Todd Heap is such a great tight end, and how you leave him uncovered is really beyond me. The Green Bay Packers did it all last week, and here are the Minnesota Vikings. But the interesting, they let him get out.
Pressure coming on Bowler, throws underneath, and the Vikings close very quickly on Mason. Mason may have enough for the first down, though, as Ralph Brown drilled him as soon as he made the catch.
2 of those 3 catches that Derek Mason has made have been 2 of the best I have seen. The ball gets there so quick. That's what helps him. He comes in, goes out. Look at the focus and concentration.
All right, here's Todd Heap. Now look at it. Brian Williams is on him. They're not letting Todd Heap go free. And this is what you have to do. Mike Tice told us on the phone last week. He said, I'm telling you right now, this guy is not getting off the line free.
Nobody touched him last week. Jamal Lewis showing you the speed that he's got on that big frame. That's the way he ran when he picked up over 2,000 yards 2 years ago.
And Brian Bellick said to us the other day, he says, what I want to see out of him is that other gear. And here's where he shows it. There's a block back to the inside. That's Jonathan Ogden getting a block. Well, I actually got 2. And then you see Jamal Lewis just put his head down and pick up the first down. This is what they've been waiting for him to do.
Antoine Winfield out on the corner is 180 pounds with an anvil in his pocket. Who was blocking him? Jonathan Ogden. He's got to outweigh him by 140 pounds. Bowler, quick set, almost intercepted right in the hands of Spencer Johnson. You can't expect a lineman to catch a pass at point-blank range, but he almost did.
Sure you expect him to catch it. Look at, he times it perfectly. This ball is thrown low.
They're trying to run that swing out into the flat to Mark Clayton, their rookie speedster. Didn't happen.
First incomplete pass of the ball game. Blitz coming, they pick it up, and Jamal Lewis runs right through that hole down to the 24-yard line. Let's check in with Susie.
Well, Mike, Paul was just mentioning what Brian Billick said about Jamal Lewis and that extra gear. And talking to him before the game, he disputes that. He said that he believes he's had that kick, but he said all backs need a good 20 carries to be able to get it cranked up. And that's been his thing all season. He hasn't felt like he's gotten enough carries. He said, you can't expect me to turn it on in just 10 carries a game.
And they, to a man, all good running backs will tell you that. Darnell Dinkins is in as the second tight end with Todd Heap on 3rd and short. Bowler, good catch out of the shotgun. Makes a good throw, and Todd Heap's got the first down. Spun down by Lance Johnstone.
I tell you, this is absolutely, to me, is absolutely amazing. Todd Heap is wide open. Kyle Bowler said he's my favorite target. Now look at him. He lines up in the slot, so he gets outside, and nobody touches him until he catches the ball. And then it's too late. He's already got the first down.
And Bowler looking good here in the first drive, throwing on rhythm. The 11th play of this drive. Running play only gains maybe a yard for Taylor.
You know, as Susie was talking about Jamal disputing the fact that, you know, he hasn't had that kick, I agree with him. Jamal Lewis has to be a feature back. Now, here you've got Chester Taylor and Jamal Lewis splitting time. I don't think it really serves this offense that well. I really believe when you look at the amount of times that he's carried the ball, in the 16 games, averaged 129 yards. The games haven't been that high. Of course, this year he comes off of the off-season problems and the injuries, but I believe he has to be a feature back somewhere.
Bowler short set, nothing there, dumps it off. And Mahaley down to the 10-yard line.
Mike, Kyle Bowler looks like an entirely different quarterback in this game and against the Green Bay Packers last week than I have seen him up until those points. The decisiveness, doesn't like it, starts to run, sees somebody open in front, gets the ball out to Mahaley, and boom, all of a sudden, you've got positive yards.
You know, it's amazing when you threaten a guy with a job.
You know what? I don't necessarily agree with that, Paul. I think it's maturity also. I think he's finding a comfort level.
It's a joke, though.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Mark Clayton is in. And Jamal Lewis pounds it inside the 10.
The tough thing with Kyle Bowler, from an evaluation standpoint, is he gets in, he plays a little bit, then all of a sudden he gets hurt. He plays a little bit more and he gets hurt. It's been very difficult for this coaching staff to evaluate their quarterback because he just hasn't been on the field enough. I always believe that the best thing you can do as a quarterback is be available to your football team to practice and play. That's been his biggest problem.
They don't make this. It's going to be short. But it doesn't matter. You go for it. They're not going anywhere except into the end zone. They're short. But it doesn't matter.
Well, it does matter.
No, you go. You go.
Well, I agree with you. But it matters. It's short. Merry Christmas.
The fans like the decision.
Now they have to quiet down so that Kyle can call the play.
An impressive drive. Already 13 plays. Jenkins is in there. DeVar Darling checks in as a wide receiver. He's number 81. And he's the only one split out of the tight formation. Quarterback keeper, Bowler. First down.
You know, this is, people don't really realize sometimes how critical a quarterback is on a quarterback sneak. Because what Kyle Bowler did is he hesitated. He hesitated, then he went into between the guard, left guard, and the center. He just waited long enough for that hole to develop. A lot of guys just go, you watch him, he just slid a little bit to his left, and then he picks up the first down. That was easy.
First and goal. Lewis got to the 5, swallowed up by big Pat Williams.
This whole drive for you has been easy. The fourth down was an easy decision. The first down quarterback sneak was easy.
Hey,
that was an easy 3 yards by Jamal moving on down.
When you're not in the playoffs, Joe, it's all easy. Just go out, relax, and have some fun and play the game. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Paul doesn't have that coach's contract. He's got the announcer contract.
That's easy for Paul to say.
Yes.
Right.
You got to think of Todd Heap down here if you're the Baltimore Ravens and the Vikings.
Empty backfield. Chester Taylor went in motion. Three-man rush. Here goes Bowler. Has to slide in safely at the 5 because he saw Randall Smith. The train was coming, and you get down.
You know, Pat Williams was with the Buffalo Bills, and this guy is really something in the middle of that line. I hate to be someone trying to run against him. Of course, he had a wonderful meal today, and you can see it in his stomach. But Pat Williams is number 94. Watch this. He makes the play. He goes out. Well, actually, Kyle Bowler slid. But Pat will get credit for the tackle.
He should.
4 wide receivers on 3rd and goal. Bowler. Back in the end zone. Heat. Touchdown.
Ralph Brown tried to cover him. You try and put a corner on him. The thing is, Ralph Brown's 5'10", 185 pounds. Todd Heap is 6'5" and 252. When you get down into tight quarters, this is the size. You need mass. Nice throw by Kyle Bowler. Great anticipation. Now watch the move that Todd Heap puts on Ralph Brown. Freezes him for a second. Just that little bit of outside hesitation creates the space inside.
The point after to tie it. And what a drive. 73 yards in 17 plays. 9 minutes and 26 seconds off the clock. We're tied at 7. That was the Ravens' longest scoring drive this year that resulted in a touchdown. 17 plays, 73 yards, almost 9.5 minutes off the clock, and that was in response to the Minnesota Vikings driving 65 yards for their touchdown.
How many times do you see a drive with 7 first downs in it?
Amazing. Corin Robinson across the 30, out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Brad Johnson, perfect so far for the Vikings, as he was 5 for 5 in the opening drive. And that score. Vikings start almost the same place they started their first drive. Neweldy Moore is the tailback. Johnson against the blitz. Throws incomplete, but a flag.
Couple of them.
Corin Robinson got a hand on it, couldn't hold it. Let's check the flag.
Illegal contact. Number 55 of the defense. 5 yards. First down.
Terrell Suggs. And that's an automatic first down.
Terrell Suggs is number 55, and watch him. He's on Corin Robinson. He sees it come out, and once he goes by, there's a 5-yard area in there where you can hit the guy. But once he's by you, and you can see that he's by, you can't hit him from the back.
End around will lose a couple. Let's check in with Susie.
Playing for the Vikings is like coming full circle for Brad Johnson, a 9th-round draft choice by the Vikes in '92. He spent 7 years with the team, and then there were stops in Washington and then Tampa. He said the second time around here has been so easy because the system, the terminology, pretty much the same, few new wrinkles, nothing exotic. And not only does he have a history with Tice as a coach, they also played together. Plus, he said he knew where the malls were, especially good this time of the year.
Well, especially with the ball of Minnesota. From the 37, Johnson underneath to Wiggins. Wiggins out to about the 42. He was questionable. Jermaine banged up with a sore ankle.
Brad Johnson on his touchdown pass did something absolutely perfect for a quarterback. This is experience. Watch how far he leads the receiver. It's perfect. It's 11 yards lead. That's anticipating where the receiver is going to be. Nice trajectory. Get the ball out quick. Perfect execution.
Deion Sanders and Dale Carter. Talk about experience. Check in as extra defensive backs. Here come the blitz. They pick it up. The pass nearly picked by Ed Reed. And he is the ball hawk. Boy, he knows when it's coming and where it's going.
Ed Reed just reads this absolutely perfectly. Ed Reed, we asked him about, should you go to the Pro Bowl? He said, no, I didn't play enough. Watch this guy. Look at him read Brad Johnson. He reads him, and he's in a perfect position. Should have made the catch. Man, perfect timing.
Mark Clayton will go back for the punt of Chris Cluey. Good-looking kicker. The rookie hangs this one very high. Clayton, late fair catch signal, and makes it at the 12-yard line. And that ends the first quarter. A 44-yard punt in a 7-7 ball game from Baltimore. Only the 5th man ever in 2000. Lewis, touchdown! He just passed O.J. Simpson and Terrell Davis, 3rd all time.
Hello, Eric. Can you hear me coming?
It was a magical season for Jamal Lewis, and now the question faces not only him, but the Ravens organization. Will he be your featured running back next year? Lewis with men in the backfield never had a chance. Randall Smith just ate him up right after he got the handoff. Not only is he, Jamal Lewis, going to be a free agent, but Chester Taylor, his backup, will also be a free agent. And the organization has to make decisions. You keep one, you keep both. How do you keep them? What do you do?
Well, the one thing about Jamal Lewis, he wants a huge bonus. He really does. He wants a lot of money up front, and I can't see them giving it to him.
Well, that's really been the focus on his mind, is being able to get paid.
Bowler throws underneath, another catch by Mason. Mason out to the 25, very near the sticks, his 4th catch of the ball game. If you were making the decision, and Jamal Lewis, who is coming back from a couple of injuries, and of course all the off-season trouble that he had, spending 4 months in prison and then a halfway house, do you think Jamal Lewis has shown that he can be the player he once was?
Well, I think he can be, but running backs, to me, I mean, you can get running backs. I just believe that they're not worth all that kind of money.
Underneath, Lewis dumped, taken down at the 24.
And Joe's going to love this. Quarterbacks are, though.
Absolutely. They're worth every penny. I think in the case of Jamal Lewis, he has to be a featured back. If you feel like Chester Taylor and Jamal Lewis are equal, then what you do is you offer the money, whatever it might be, and whichever one takes it is the one that you keep. If Jamal says, no, I believe I can get more and I should get more, then you let him go. But I don't believe that he can be a split back kind of guy. Not he gets 10 carries, 12 carries, somebody else gets 10 or 12 carries. I don't believe he can do that.
79 offense, 5 yards. It's 2nd down.
Check in with Susie. Susie, what do you think about Jamal?
Well, I asked him how you put your heart and soul into the game when you're angry at the organization for not signing you to a big contract. And he said, the bottom line is he plays because he loves the game. He's angry because he wants to help the team, wants to get more carries. When you're out there on the field, it's not about the money. And he insists that comments earlier in the season were misconstrued. He never said he'd hold back to protect his body for next year. He said he hopes to stay healthy like everybody else.
And they don't think he's held back. They think he's still running very, very hard. Here's Bowler in trouble, and down he goes back at the 12-yard line. A lot of pressure that time. Sam Cowart, the former Buffalo Bill and a Pro Bowler, came up the middle along with Randall Smith and Pat Williams.
Well, Randall Smith comes from the outside, and the guy that's blocking him is one of the guys we were talking about, Chester Taylor, 29. Take a look at here. Look at this. Whoa, Smith is there, and there's Sam Cowart coming up the middle. They just hesitated. There's just no place for Bowler to go.
Now 3rd and 23. Draw play. Chester Taylor. And Fred Smoot comes up to make a classic form tackle at the 24-yard line.
Well, we've seen 2 things tonight that I think are unique to this football game. Deion Sanders making an open field tackle, and a very good one, and Fred Smoot making an open field tackle. Neither one of them known for their abilities to be able to want to stick their head in, but yet both of them done an excellent job tonight.
Well, it's either make the tackle or have that guy run over you.
Well, Fred Smoot has done a perfect imitation of Dion ever since he's been in the league. He walks like him, has the same stride. He just wants to emulate Deion Sanders.
There'll never be another Deion
No, there
Sanders.
won't.
There
No,
may
there
be a lot of wannabes, but there'll never be one like him.
Zastudil, nice kick. Neweldy Moore pushed all the way back inside his 30-yard line. And now Moore up across the 45. Nice return, 16 yards after a 55-yard boomer by Zastudil.
Happy holidays from Sunday Night Football. It's great to have you with us.
Hey, that was everybody got the words right and everything. Great to have you with us, guys.
Very
and
nice,
dolls.
guys. All the men and women from Sunday night who spend so many holidays away from their families and work so hard. We thank you so much. Thanks for being with us this Christmas.
Yeah, well, they make it easy for us. All we do is
Don't
sit
they?
down and do a game. They do
They're
all
the
the
best.
work.
They're the best. Neweldy Moore shakes at tackle, makes a good cut, and Moore drives all the way to the Ravens' 40-yard line. They have run the ball very well tonight, which has been something they haven't done all year.
And I'll tell you what, we're seeing something we just never see with the Baltimore Ravens. Look at the missed tackle. Neweldy Moore is running very well, but look at the people that miss. I mean, this team just, they prided themselves for so many years on their defense, and they're missing tackles. There are 3 guys that missed solid tackles on that play.
Johnson changing the play. Here comes the blitz. Johnson throws incomplete. What a great job by Travis Taylor. He saved an interception by Ed Reed.
That is the 7th opportunity in the last 2 games that Ed Reed has had. He missed 5 interception opportunities last week against Green Bay. This is the 2nd one. He gets his head around. The ball basically gets to him quick, and then Travis Taylor does whatever you have to keep him away from the ball. He thought that he wouldn't get an early Christmas present last week. He's hoping to at least get one Christmas present this week, and Brad Johnson is trying.
Brad Johnson is very lucky that one wasn't picked off. Moore hit at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Let's go to Susie.
Mike, Ed Reed described Brad Johnson as a timing and rhythm quarterback who's very consistent, getting it there when it's supposed to be there. But as Reed shared, because it's timing and rhythm, when Brad throws, the receiver isn't looking. So Reed feels that gives him the advantage because he's so well prepared. He knows the tendencies, and he's ahead of the game.
3rd and 10 from the 40. And there's movement up front as Anthony Herrera pulled back in his stance.
64 offense, 5 yards. 3rd down.
The defense was just dancing all over the place. You knew it was going to happen eventually.
Against the Pittsburgh Steelers last week, the Minnesota Vikings had 5 false start penalties. So it's been a problem for them. And I think when you've got these guys up in 2-point stances and there's a little bit of movement across from them, they're going to lean back and get going. Because when you get 320 pounds going in one direction, it's not going to stop.
3rd and 15. They come with a 3-man rush. Little swing. Moore to the 40, and that's it. Taken down by a Dallas Thomas, who has played all 11 defensive spots this year. He's got to be the most versatile guy that has ever played defense in the NFL.
Well, you know, we were talking about Dallas Thomas. He actually, in 2 games back-to-back, played, as you were talking about, all 11 positions on the defense. And we're not making that up. It's really true. He will play in this game probably 5 different positions.
I like what Paul told him. I'll be your agent. I'll get you 11 different contracts.
Oh, yeah.
1 for each spot. Pluie hangs it straight up. That's an awful kick. Fortunately for them, it takes a bounce toward the Ravens goal line, but that thing was straight up in the air. Still tied at 7 here in Baltimore. The Maryland Historical Society has a collection of Christmas cards that date all the way back to 1865.
The one 1901 I sent.
I thought that was one you got, but you just gave it to him, right?
Ravens, after a 16-yard punt, start their offense with Jamal Lewis across the 25.
Todd Heap, we talk so much about him, and what a sensational tight end he is. But the most important thing, even Ty said it, we cannot let this guy get off the line of scrimmage without touching him. And all 3 of these plays that you're going to see and watch, all 3 times Todd Heap gets off the line of scrimmage and nobody touches him. You don't touch him, he's catching the ball.
Had a pair of reconstructive surgeries after he got off crutches from his knee. He had to have shoulder surgery, and this guy is such a tremendous competitor. He's looking forward to the offseason so he can really be ready for next year. Here are his numbers as compared with the 2 guys going to the Pro Bowl in the AFC in front of him, Antonio Gates and Tony Gonzalez. The numbers just about equal, and we said to him the other day, boy, you're in a position with a lot of great players, and it's going to be tough to get to the Pro Bowl for anybody.
Well, when they voted for the Pro Bowl, too, one other thing, both of those tight ends ahead of him, Gates and Gonzalez, were on teams that were vying for the playoff position.
And you tend to get lost in that. Bowler from the shotgun, backs up and throws incomplete. And that's a dangerous throw, and the kind of throw that he made against Denver that got him in so much trouble.
And he's limping. He has a bad toe, and he came up limping.
It'll probably be February before this toe doesn't give him a problem. He loses some ground, then he gets hit and hangs the ball up in the middle. He was expecting the receiver to cut across. Didn't happen.
When you start backing up and still throwing the ball, you get a problem.
When he gets out of rhythm, he gets a problem.
Yep. Sastadil to kick to Moore. He had a beauty the last time. Gets another one. Moore lets it go at the sideline. What a great kick by Sastadil. Put it right on the sideline and kicked it 48 yards out of bounds. Monday night, Tom Brady and the Patriots continue their march toward the playoffs and their quest for 3 straight Super Bowls as they visit the Jets on Monday Night Football at 9 Eastern on ABC.
How about the job? We talked about coaches of the year. How about Bill Belichick with the New England Patriots? I mean, there's a guy that everybody sort of overlooked because he's won world championships, but boy, what a job he's done this year with that ball club.
All those injuries on defense, and they win the division.
Kyle Bowler up trying to walk it off before he gets his chance to come back on the field. Travis Taylor makes the catch from Brad Johnson.
As Kyle goes back, watch Kevin Williams. His right knee gets Kyle Bowler's right ankle, and as he rolls over, you'll see he gets up gimpy. It's just a knee on an ankle with 300+ pounds of weight coming right down on it.
311 to be exact.
Oh, yeah.
Give or take a.
That's 3+.
20.
A small turkey.
After those opening drives, neither team's been able to move the ball. Nice catch by Kleinsasser.
Now
touchdown at the 38-yard line.
Mike, there's a case that a play was made by Terrell Suggs. Terrell Suggs forces Brad Johnson to throw this ball into the ground. Watch the pressure that he brings from the outside, number 55. He's coming from the right side. There he is now. Brad has to get rid of it quick, and he doesn't allow Kleinsasser to be able to do anything with it. It doesn't go down as a whole lot, but it's a difference between a 10-yard gain and a 6-yard gain.
5:40 to go in the first half. Johnson with a blitz. They pick it up again, and he throws this one out of bounds. Taylor was the closest to it. Let's go to Chris Berman for a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update. Chris.
Hi, Michael, and a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to everybody. Lance Briggs and the defense. 4 picks by the Bears. They win the Norris in the 2nd seed, beating the Packers 24-17. Kobe couldn't hit here as the Heat behind Shaq beat Miami in NBA action. We'll have our halftime heroes. We'll go over the playoff scenarios, all that at halftime when we see you then. Mike?
All right, thank you, Chris. Brad Johnson to Corn Robinson, and Ed Reed just leveled.
I love Ed Reed. I'm telling you, Ed Reed is one of my favorite players ever. And Ed Reed, you talk about timing. Corn Robinson, there's a flag on this play. But I'm going to tell you what, watch the hit, folks.
That ought to make Monday night's jacked up show.
Illegal contact.
You're talking
number 21 of the defense. 5 yards from the previous spot. First down.
You want
Chris
some illegal
McAllister called for the penalty.
You want some illegal contact. You want to talk about decleating somebody? Watch Robinson. If you watch his feet leave the ground. Ed Reed just levels him. Look at his feet here. Corn Robinson, number 18, his feet, whoop.
Well, there's a difference between illegal contact and unmerciful legal contact.
Yes.
And we
that
saw
was
an
all
unmerciful
shoulder
one right there. Wow. Legal hit, though.
Yeah, he got
Yikes.
up. I'll tell you, Corn got up. He's fine.
You travel the middle against the Ravens. You better be ready with 2 chin straps.
Taylor comes into the slot. And a flag will kill the play. That's going to cost the Vikings 5 yards.
False start, 85 offense, 5 yards. It's first down.
Jermaine Wiggins with the penalty. Deion Sanders talked about his teammate, Ed Reed.
He's one of the best that I played with from the safety position. He's smart. He has athleticism that's unbelievable, and instincts. And he's aggressive and a playmaker. He has a cornerback mentality playing a safety's position.
Deion, a pretty good evaluator of talent.
Aggressive, huh?
Brad Johnson. And playing without a hat, Nate Burleson picks up what he can until Thomas makes the tackle.
You know, Joe said it too, and one thing happens when you play the Baltimore Ravens. You get into that secondary and you catch a ball, you're going to get whacked. Watch this. Boom, here's the catch, and Dennis Thomas just rips his helmet off. That's a clean hit. Ed Reed is, to me, I mean, this guy is so smart, number one, but he is so tough. He just, I mean, really enjoys, and you were just talking about, Joe, he's had an opportunity in the last 2 games to have 7 interceptions. He didn't get any.
Timeout, Minnesota.
Vikings take a timeout. You think if your helmet gets ripped off in the middle of the play, your heart stops? Baltimore's defense is what has carried them. Ed Reed, an unmerciful hit. Or, if you're still in the play, we'll just take your hat with us. That was not called. It was an obvious face mask that they missed.
I don't know how you missed that, baby. He's like his face wasn't with it.
Blitz coming. And Brad Johnson does the only thing he can, throws it away. The flag is down, maybe a hold.
I'll tell you what, Brad Johnson, you talk about a smart player. He knew he had to get out of there and get out of there in a hurry, because you can see all that purple coming, and then throw that ball away.
Of course, Brad Johnson ran out of trouble. He was a good enough athlete to go Florida State and play both sports.
Well, an illegal cut. Number 64 offense. 15 yards. Repeat, second down.
Anthony Herrera, the starting left guard, with an illegal block. But Brad Johnson was a star basketball player as well in high school.
Now, if you think that the Baltimore Ravens are going to lay back because it's long yardage, that's not in Rex Ryan's repertoire. Matter of fact, he told me on Friday, he said, look, we're going to go after Brad, and we're going to come at him from a lot of different places. And if he wants to sit and stay in the pocket, I want to see how many hits he wants to take. So they're coming and coming from everywhere.
Troy Williamson, number 19, is in as an additional wide receiver. Johnson underneath. Williamson, nice catch. Down the sideline. Williamson to the 40, a blocker in front to the 30. And Troy Williamson all the way to the 15-yard line. A gain of 56 yards. How about that speed?
All led by a missed tackle. It should have been about a 3-yard gain. And that's, I'm not sure on the outside who misses the tackle. That's Thomas.
He doesn't even really try and take him. He just tries to throw a forearm at him.
I mean, that you've got to make contact with these guys. I mean, when you're flying down the sideline, you got to take a guy off his feet.
That Baltimore defense has been really sloppy tonight. Moore clobbered as he picked up a couple. And right in the middle of that defense was Tommy Polley, who has done a good job as a middle linebacker, a position that he switched back and forth when he was with St. Louis.
But I said, when you go across the middle and you catch the ball draws the crowd, you're going to get hit. I'm going to tell you what, when you go up in the middle on either one of these defenses, you're going to get it.
And that's without Ray Lewis. Theatric Faison is the new running back. The pass to the corner, caught at the goal line. They still have made no signal. His feet hit the pylon. The question is, where was the ball?
The ball didn't make it in the end zone.
This is not a touchdown. It cannot be a touchdown, and you're absolutely right, Paul.
I mean, this is a great play by Burleson. He catches the ball and gets his feet down, which is absolutely perfect. But the problem is the ball is not in the end zone.
Even though the receiver's feet was in the end zone, the ball never penetrated the goal line. The ball is out of bounds at the half-yard line.
Watch this catch and then look at his feet. Burleson comes down with the ball. He tries to get, and he hops into the end zone, and he does hit the pylon, but the ball's back on the 1-yard line.
How about the throw that gets over Adalys Thomas's outstretched arm? What a throw by Brad Johnson.
Faison is the deep back, and he'll get the carry. Theatric Faison did not get in.
Only lost a half a yard.
Faison at 207 is a really hard runner. They have been using him as a short yardage back, but he didn't get in that time.
Tommy Polley, number 50, watch this. I mean, you don't go anywhere. You're dead.
Faison comes out of the pile. He was not down, and he will lose yardage all the way back to the 5. Jarrett Johnson, number 95, made the play.
You know what this is, Joseph? This is when the defense takes over and they control the line of scrimmage.
And this is what happens when you have a back that's not real big. This is not a big back. He is not a power back. Michael Bennett would be much better served. But all your backs are 210 pounds, 209 pounds. They don't have a hammer to get it in the end zone if you're going to run in the middle of this Raven defense.
Tremendous penetration, and now the Vikings allowing the clock to run down. They will call a timeout, facing 3rd and goal with 1:12 to go in the half. Stay tuned for the Toyota halftime show. Chris Berman will have the Bears and the Packers highlights, Shaq against Kobe, and Boomer's halftime heroes all coming up on the Toyota halftime show. 3rd and goal for the Vikings from the 5, and what was lost in that timeout was great clock management by Minnesota. Noeldi Moore comes back in at tailback. He's number 30. Johnson to throw over the middle, touchdown. It's Wiggins. And Brad Johnson fits another one right over the middle.
What a throw.
His first touchdown catch of the year.
What a throw by Brad Johnson. I mean, this thing is rocketing, and he knows it too. He loves wearing that glove. He says he gets a great grip. He sets, fires, little pump, and wham, right in between the linebackers. That's Chad Williams, and he's pointing, saying, hey, look, you got to get over here in the middle. That's ugly.
Brad Johnson's the holder.
Sure he is.
Brad Johnson now has 10 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions. If they win this game, he will have won 7 of his 8 starts this year. And people say, well, he doesn't have the big arm. He's not all that mobile. Yeah, all he does
Where
is
do you
win.
think he'll
Number
be next year?
21 in the neutral zone on the defense. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. We'll redo the.
I still believe, in my opinion, that there's absolutely no harm in having your starting quarterback or a quarterback be a holder. I just think that, to me, it creates so many options. If things go bad, you've got somebody that's used to being around the football and can make a play out of nothing.
He must have been a holder.
Absolutely. Oh, my God.
Brad Johnson on that drive, 6 out of 7, 95 yards. Let's check in with Susan.
Mike, we spend a lot of time talking about guys like Todd Heap and Tony Gonzalez, and I asked Jermaine Williams why he's a guy who draws so little attention, and he's led his team in receptions 2 years straight. He said, hard to tell, not a flashy guy, wasn't a top pick, but I get the job done. And this thick Boston accent, he said, I play with a chip on my shoulder for all the people who said an undrafted guy couldn't do this. I know I'm not the prototype tight end, not 6'6", never ran a 4.4, but I know how to get up there and make plays. Case in point, that score.
I'll tell you another thing, he isn't 260.
Tell you the other thing.
He's closer to 275.
One other thing, he played on a team with Randy Moss. And if you're on a team with Randy Moss, you're not going to have a tight end, no matter how productive he is, be recognized like some of the other guys that are featured.
He's only one of 5 tight ends who lead their club in receptions, and they've done it the last 2 years. The other guys have been to at least 2 Pro Bowls. But that's what's beautiful about athletics. It gives people a chance to compete who've been told their entire careers by other people that they're not good enough, and they prove that they are.
Take another guy on the other side for the Baltimore Ravens. Adalys Thomas is a guy that's been really solid. We've talked about how many positions he's played, but he's been overshadowed by Ray Lewis and by Ed Reed.
Chester Taylor, the deep man, with 1:06 to go in the first half. Has to back up to the 5. Taylor got to the corner, taken down at the 24-yard line. Here's the NFC division leaders right now. Seattle has clinched home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Chicago, with that win today over Green Bay, clinches a first-round bye. Tampa Bay at 10-5, the Giants at 10-5, a win, and they're in. The Vikings chasing one of those wild card spots. They have to win tonight, they have to win next week, and they need some help. But first things first, you have to win. Bowler with good protection goes underneath to Taylor, or Mark Clayton, excuse me, and Clayton run out of bounds.
For a rookie, he has a lot of savvy. Young kid out of Oklahoma. A lot of young receivers would try and gain just a yard or 2 more, keep the clock running. Here's a guy, catches the ball, gets himself out of bounds, you save the timeout.
And you can see the improvement during his rookie season. The last 7 games, his production has doubled after a really slow start. 4-man rush, good protection for Bowler. Throws again, and Clayton makes the catch up at the 43-yard line. They'll stop the clock with 43 seconds to go in the half. Brian Billick, Mike Tice, and Brad Johnson were all together with the Vikings from 1996 through 98. In this team photo, Billick was the offensive coordinator, a record setter, by the way. Tice, the offensive line coach, and Johnson was the starting quarterback before injuries sidelined him. They went 15-1 that year and set the NFL record for points, 556. And Mike Tice, you can just see how much he has grown as a head coach under trying circumstances, certainly this year. And Brian Billick with a Super Bowl ring to his credit now in his 7th year. Good protection for Bowler. Throws too high this time. Heap wants a flag. He was double covered. Sharper was there along with Brian Williams.
Well, that's the first time Heap's been double covered. And he said, hey, wait a minute, someone throw a flag. You're not allowed to double cover me. Because most everybody else lets me off the line of scrimmage, and they don't double cover me. Here comes Heap now. Now they chuck him at the line of scrimmage. It wasn't much, but it was enough. And now look at this. I mean, that's just excellent coverage.
It is.
He draws a crowd, and he should. Bowler out of the shotgun. As this one batted back in his face.
Well, he was standing back there looking at Todd Heap the entire way. And when you do that, it allows the defensive linemen to just do whatever they need to do to get in front of you. Kyle Bowler, watch him look back, and he's going to look to his left, and he's looking for Todd Heap, number 86. Looking. And the defensive lineman just gets his arm up in the air. That's Williams, Kevin Williams. Look at this. Boom. He just gets his arm up.
Well, what an effort.
Perfect timing. Athletic ability.
Third down. Ravens trying to keep this 2-minute drill alive. Bowler again. Now he'll go underneath. The flag is down. Taylor breaks a tackle, gets inside the 40, but they threw a flag back near the line of scrimmage. This may be coming back. Jerry Austin, our referee tonight. A longer discussion than you might
Illegal
expect.
hands to the face. Number 51 underneath him. Penalty is declined. He's over the play of the first down.
That's Lance Johnstone. And I'll tell you, one of the things, when you're right in the middle and they can see you, number 51 is Lance Johnstone. Now look at his hands up into the face.
Oh, yeah.
Man, oh.
Tony Pashos.
I'll tell you, that
beheaded.
is really dangerous.
Well, anytime you grab, we saw the helmet get ripped off when you're up around the face mask.
26 seconds to go in the half.
2 timeouts. They got plenty of time.
Draw play. Lewis.
Well, not for that
Just
play.
don't
What a
like
crowd
the call.
didn't like that.
Just don't like the call. I mean, you're moving the ball, throwing the football. You've got timeouts. Why?
And that took 7 seconds.
Yeah, but that's 7 seconds wasted.
Check in with Susie.
Mike, 2 teams, very different motivations tonight. Vikings thinking playoffs, Ravens thinking jobs. Mike Tyson Company, it's a must-win. And Brad Johnson has been picture perfect. 13 of 16, 148 yards, 2 touchdowns. No wonder he's 6-1 on the season so far. Kyle Bowler, coming off the best performance of his career, has been steady. He's got the touch, also playing for a job. And Jamal Lewis, well, will he be here next year or someplace else? He wants more carries. So far, 31 yards, 14-7 Vikings.
And Bowler has played pretty well, coming off the best game of his career. They need him here. Completes that one to Heap, and Heap down to the 26-yard line with 14 seconds to go. Brian Williams took him out of bounds.
Yeah, Brian Williams took him out of bounds. Someone hit this guy, please, at the line of scrimmage. I mean, Todd Heap has just had a sensational year. Look at this. He's free off the line of scrimmage, and when you do that, I understand that the clock is running down, but you're allowing him to pick up anywhere between 8 and 10 to 12 yards every time he touches the ball when you don't touch him.
From here, it would be a 44-yard field goal try. Well within Stover's range. 4-man rush. Bowler. And not out of bounds. The clock will continue to run. Now they'll stop it as Antoine Winfield made a saving tackle on Clayton, and they have to use the timeout to stop it with 6 seconds to go.
Kyle Bowler this time bought some time. He waited very patiently for the double move. Clayton does a real nice job If he could make the turn, he's going to get a lot more yards around the corner. Again, Antoine Winfield, I think he's one of the absolute best corners and most complete corners in the National Football League. I mean, he was within a few games last year of leading his team in tackles. He did it when he was up in Buffalo in 01. He's a corner, and he led the team in tackles.
And he's fearless.
I've never seen him miss a tackle.
I haven't either. I think he's just outstanding.
Matt Stover, who has hit 24 of 28 field goals this year and is number 2 all-time in field goal percentage behind Mike Vanderjagt, will come on to try a 37-yard field goal. Zastadil is the holder. Right down the pipe. So Bowler engineers a nice 2-minute drive, gets them in field goal range, and they make it a 14-10 ball game. Good job by the Ravens offense to cut into that lead. Let's go to Susie with Brian Billick.
Brian, a lot of guys playing for jobs tonight. How would you evaluate Kyle so far?
Well, I think he's done some excellent things. It's an excellent drive to end the half with. We just got to do what you always do in football. You got to tackle better. You can't give up big plays by not tackling. So it's a dogfight. It's just what we expected.
Thanks.
Our score here at M&T Bank Stadium, the Vikings 14, the Ravens 10. Let's join Chris Berman for the Toyota halftime show.
All right, Michael, thank you very much, and happy holidays to everybody from all of us here at ESPN to all of you at home, whatever it is that you're celebrating. We hope it's been a wonderful, wonderful day and evening. Well, Brett Favre, Lambeau Field, you almost can't separate the two these days. You wonder whether down the stretch here, the last couple of times, we'll see Brett at Lambeau, but what a Christmas present it is, no matter what the Packers' record is. And, oh, by the way, the Chicago Bears and the Packers have played now 171 times. That goes deep into Santa's bag, the most of any rivalry in the NFL. The Bears playing for something with Rex Grossman, Brett Favre just trying to engineer an upset. But the Chicago Bears are the ones that are moving, as that's Rex Grossman, who hits Muhsin Muhammad in the first quarter. Noah Herron, after a touchdown call back on the Pack, ties it up at 7-all. Does the leap. Then Favre intercepted by Lance Briggs in the third quarter. 4 interceptions today by the Chicago Bears. 5 of their defensive players going to the Pro Bowl. But with the Bears, have they salted it away at 24-7? Not so fast. Antonio Chapman, 8 minutes to go. He could go all the way with a touchdown. 24-14. Field goal, though long well on a tough day. 24-17 onside kick Bears. They got a punt. The Pack with one last shot. And Brett Favre to Donald Duke and the driver. All the way to the Bears, 35, a 56-yard pickup at the defense. A couple of sacks on the last series. And here's one of them. Alex Brown, 3rd and 19, goodbye. And then last shot for Brett and the Packers. He's looking for Rod Gardner, just signed this week, but Chris Harris, one of his 2 picks, and the Chicago Bears, with Rex Grossman starting and the defense finishing, have won the NFC North and won the 2nd seed. Congratulations to them, Lovie Smith and company, as the Bears win 24-17. First start for Rex Grossman since week 3 last year.
It feels great to be division champs, and you know, this is a extremely happy locker room. I'm happy for everyone, and I'm just glad I could contribute at the end.
We're one of the best teams in the league, no doubt about it. You know, we're excited about this opportunity. That's all you can ask for, to have it in your hands, not worry about any other teams except you. That's all we've been worrying about the whole season, is us. And, you know, we put together an awesome season, and now we got to finish it off right.
That's Mike Brown, one of the best football players in the league. Remember when Lovie Smith took over, he said, we got to start doing things like beating the Packers. Interesting, that's who they beat to win the Norris. So Seattle is the 1 seed, Chicago the 2 seed. They'll get byes in the NFC playoffs when we begin in a couple of weeks. Tampa the inside track in the South. They win, they're the 3 seed. The Giants play on New Year's Eve here on ESPN against, oddly enough, their old quarterback, Kerry Collins at Oakland. They win. They'll be the 4th seed if Tampa wins and win the East. Carolina controls their destiny, though they're in the wild card pool. Washington wins, and they will at least be a wild card team. They're still alive for the division. Dallas, and as they've talked about tonight, the fellas and Susie, Minnesota, still alive, but they're going to need some help. We will look at the AFC playoff picture and more in a moment.
This is the Toyota Halftime Show.
Boy, the AFC can have some great playoffs, much more defined than the NFC. The Colts, the 1 seed, Denver now the 2 seed. They get the byes the opening weekend. Cincinnati is in line for the 3, but New England can still catch them depending on the last week of play. And, of course, New England plays on Monday night. Congrats to the Jags in the playoffs for the first time in 6 years. They're the 5-hole. Pittsburgh controls their own destiny. And if San Diego beats Denver on New Year's Eve, they're in before they take the field. If they win, they're in. Kansas City hoping that they can still be alive and can sneak in the backside. Well, halftime heroes, look. Kansas City a couple years ago had Priest Holmes with 27 touchdowns to set the NFL record. But Sean Alexander, as the Seattle Seahawks won their 11th straight game, 25 yards on the sideline. He's also over 1,800 yards for the season, 150-yard lead on the rushing crown, which he was 1 yard shy of last year. But when Priest Holmes scored his 3rd touchdown, he had tied, when Sean Alexander did, he had tied Priest Holmes with 27. And, of course, Alexander and the Seahawks, very interesting. Mike Holmgren goes into Lambeau Field next week as the Seahawks play at the Packers. And so now Alexander atop of them all. Can he break the tie next week? Well, we've never seen this before in the NFL. Terrence McGee, Buffalo Bills, at Cincinnati. Maybe because Sam Weiss returned to Cincinnati as Bills quarterback coach. But maybe just McGee is really good. No one circles the wagons like Terrence McGee. A 99-yard kickoff return, and then he sealed the game with this INT. No man before had returned an interception and a kickoff for touchdowns in the same game. Congrats. 8 straight 100-yard games for Grandmama. Larry Johnson, powerful. Man, he runs powerful. And he catches the ball. How about this against the Chargers in their 20-7 win yesterday? Down the sideline, bowling over tacklers. But our hero of all, no matter on the water, in the air, down the chimney, Santa is the hero of the weekend. And you know what? We've decided you can never have too many Santas in one place. Merry Christmas to all, and to all, a good night from the studio. But we have second half to come still from Minnesota and Baltimore. And we've got Monday Night Football, the Patriots and the Jets for the Meadowlands on ABC at 9. Don't forget Monday Night 10:30 ESPN at 7:30 Eastern Time. As for our game, the Vikings still alive in the playoffs. They got to win it.
Been a hard-hitting game in Baltimore with 2 weeks to go in the season, really laying the lumber to each other. The Ravens trying to play the role of spoiler. The Minnesota Vikings, led by Brad Johnson, still with their playoff hopes alive, and they have the halftime lead here against the Ravens. Welcome back to Baltimore, everybody. 14-10. For Mike Tyson Company and Brian Billick, hoping his team shows a second half spark. Chester Taylor is deep to receive the third quarter kickoff. And Ettinger hits a good one. Taylor from the 4. Lost the football. The Vikings had a great shot at it. No signal yet from Jerry Austin and his crew.
This doesn't even fall in the category of coughing up a ball. This is just a giveaway. Just a flat giveaway. He makes one move and just rolls the ball out in front of him. I mean, you're a running back. Okay, you should be able to protect it. Ball gets just nicked as the Viking goes by and it comes out.
Will Hunter may have gotten a hand on it.
That is not what the Baltimore Ravens were looking for on the opening possession.
That's inexcusable because you are a running back and you know you have to control the football.
Coming into traffic on a kickoff for crying out loud.
Great break for the Vikings. Can they take advantage? Johnson wants to on first down. Kleinsaucer on a little tight end screen. And Kleinsaucer moves the pile inside the 25 to the 21. Boy, they've got two really good tight ends on this club. Kleinsaucer and Wiggins.
Both of them big, too. Kleinsaucer's 275, Wiggins 260, as you say, Paul. I don't know about that. I'm not sure that 260 is quite as accurate as it might be.
I mean, Kleinsaucer looks like a Viking, a real Viking.
Incredibly athletic, too. I mean, hurdles people, nifty.
Brad Johnson, who had a sensational first half, gives to Mewelde Moore. Moore cuts back down to the 18-yard line. Of course, if you have been following the playoff picture, it got real simple for the Vikings tonight. They have to win 2 games, and they need some help to get in the playoffs, but their hopes are still alive. They can finish this game at 10-6. The Ravens, I thought they played pretty well in the first half.
The Ravens have to do 2 things, I think. One is quit missing tackles, which is something that these guys don't usually do, and give the ball to Jamal Lewis and let him run with the thing because he still can carry it.
And I think Brad Johnson has to continue what he's been doing. Take advantage. If they want to come after him, hit the plays down the field.
Johnson with the fade and into double coverage, incomplete. Intended for Marcus Robinson, a veteran he likes to throw to.
You know, was there?
McAllister and Reed were there in double coverage.
I'm amazed that this isn't pass interference.
Ed Reed plays center field, and Ed Reed looks at the quarterback, and here's Ed Reed right there that Joe just circled. And watch this. He sees Brad Johnson. The ball's up in the air.
Ed Reed,
you know what? He was there a little early.
He headed for the intersection of where the ball was going to be. Also, he hit him in the head.
Edinger for the field goal. So the Vikings turn the fumbled kickoff into 3. Back to Baltimore with a 7-point game. 20 homes in the 700 block of 34th Street here in Baltimore. Always get into the Christmas spirit with elaborate light displays. Love Christmas lights.
Love Christmas.
Yep.
Wonderful, isn't it?
Chester Taylor will give it another try to the 20. Fighting for extra yardage up near the 25. Let's go to Susie.
You know, we're watching Kyle Bowler continue to play for his job tonight, and it's almost as if he's in a tug of war with himself. He wants to be that calm, smooth quarterback, but his personality is 100 miles an hour. He's so competitive. He always wants to make the big play. I asked him, can you just manage a game and slow down? He said, I can do it. I just need to let it happen. The big plays will come. I've lost a lot of sleep over a lot of bad plays. He knows the best thing to do sometimes is just throw it away, and we can see the development tonight.
Well, it was certainly a wow moment last week because you watched him play against the Green Bay Packers, and when the game was over, you just said, wow, this kid had a tremendous game.
Kyle Bowler has done an excellent job of spreading the ball around, but everything's been underneath. He's had no attempts over 15 yards. Now, this is a product and a very good pass completion percentage, I might add. But this is a product of Teddy Cottrell, the defensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings. He plays basically a shell. He doesn't allow you to get guys down the field, and there's no sense forcing it.
Underneath here, Winfield with excellent coverage, and the Vikings defensively have been closing very strongly. Derek Mason made that catch.
You said he hadn't thrown the ball over 15 yards. There was a beautiful 1-yard pattern.
You know,
no, I understand that's all you got to throw to.
But that's what Ted Cottrell does. I mean, to credit him. This defense about 6 weeks ago really started to pick up, and Sam Coward talked about the fact that they're now learning to play together. Ted Cottrell came from Buffalo. You look at, he's got a linebacker he played with in Coward, Pat Williams a lineman, and Antoine Winfield. So he's got 3 elements at different places that have helped solidify this defense.
3rd and 9. Bowler with good time goes underneath. That's going to be a first down. Taylor makes the catch out in the flat, turned it up, and had plenty of yardage.
You know, when you talk about Kyle Bowler sitting in that pocket, look at this offensive line block. Now, all the way along the line, he's got a pocket to step up into, and then he sees Chester Taylor coming across. This is kind of an easy throw for him because they give him room to throw the ball.
And Jonathan Ogden at that left tackle spot has had a sensational game. He's just been stoning Lance Johnstone.
See, I think if you take a shot, this is where you take a shot down the field, if that's what you choose to do.
Bowler out in the flat this time for Jamal Lewis. Lewis across midfield. There's a flag down in the secondary.
Well, they just about, Todd Heath about ripped him apart. You talk about holding a guy coming off the line of scrimmage.
Holding number 57 of the defense.
I would hope so.
5 yards, automatic first down.
That's Randall Smith.
Randall Smith had a hold of Todd Heap, and he was not allowing him to get off the line of scrimmage. I know you're supposed to hold him up.
Well,
but not hold him?
How about
but
stop?
Not hold him.
How about stop or slow him down?
Yeah, don't hold him, hold him.
Randall Smith getting the start because Keith Newman is still hurt. And Newman was playing very, very well at that left outside linebacker spot. Fake the draw. Good protection for Bowler again. Can't find anybody. And now he just throws it away.
Well, that's outstanding coverage in that secondary. There was absolutely no one open or even close to being open.
Kevin Williams was applying the pressure.
You look to the outside and just take a look at the guys going downfield. There's just no place to go with the ball. Kyle Bowler did the smart thing. He looked downfield. He saw all these white shirts. He said, wait a minute. Let me get out of here and throw this ball away.
When you see a safety like you saw Darren Sharper move over in front of Derek Mason, that's great scouting and great film study. He knew where the route was supposed to go, and he beat Mason to the point of intercept.
You look at the 4 guys who were the starters in this secondary. It is a really quality group.
Pat Williams
gets him to the 47.
Pat Williams just made the tackle on Jamal Lewis, and what happens is what this defense is doing, what they're trying to do anyway, they're rushing the passer, but on the way through there, they're going to make the tackle and make sure that they're always aware of where Jamal Smith is. And when he says, you know, I don't get to carry that many times, well, you don't, because they're waiting for you at the line of scrimmage.
Got a player down. We'll check on him when we come back to Baltimore. Monday night, Tom Brady and the Patriots will continue their march toward the playoffs in their quest for a 3rd straight Super Bowl as they visit the Jets on Monday Night Football, 9 Eastern on ABC Sports. The injured player, Edwin Mulatalo. So the Ravens are playing with 3 subs in that offensive line from the group that started the season. Blitz coming. Bowler hangs in there and throws. And it's going to be a touchdown. Mark Clayton got away from 2 defenders and went straight to the end zone.
And there's a rarity. Teddy Cottrell, the defensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings, decided he wanted to blitz Kyle Bowler. This is a way that you teach coordinators not to come after you. He just unloads and rockets this thing. What a catch. What a catch by that young man. He has really asserted himself at the end of the season. Ralph Brown played him as well as you can.
17 out of 22, 180 yards for Kyle Bowler. And this is a huge performance for him, knowing he's being evaluated, and I mean really evaluated in the last 3 ball games through a game and a half. He has responded brilliantly. Tied at 17 with 9 minutes and 49 seconds to go. 3rd quarter from Baltimore, and Kyle Bowler having another great game, coming off the best performance of his life a week ago against Baltimore. Tonight, 17 to 22, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns.
And this is what Brian Billick wanted to see. Could he put together consecutive good, solid performances. And as you mentioned, Mike, so far, Brian's got to be very pleased with what he has seen from his young quarterback.
Corn Robinson deep to receive, but it's a short kick taken by one of the up men, and will be great field position for the Vikings. They're up past their 40.
On pass track, you'll see the black lines where the ball goes. Kyle Boller does a really nice job, as we saw Brad Johnson do, of leading the receiver. Gives him a 10-yard lead, lets him run on in. But he really focuses. Look at his eyes. He said, everybody says, oh, don't look at the receiver. I don't buy into that. When there's a blitz coming and you're going to make a throw, you look at the receiver, you put the ball exactly where you have to, and then you go hit your offensive lineman on the head.
And Sharper, uncharacteristically for him, took a bad angle and ran himself right out of the play. Brad Johnson underneath, incomplete, intended for Taylor. Excellent coverage by Tommy Polley from his linebackers.
Another thing on Kyle Boller, in talking to different players yesterday, he hasn't won over his football team. They weren't sure of his mental toughness. They weren't sure of a lot of things. As he continues to perform like this, you'll see more and more offensive linemen get around him, guys coming up and patting on him. He's not only earning the respect of a coach, but he's earning the respect of his teammates as well.
And guys need to make plays for him the way Clayton did. Pressure on Johnson. Wiggins to midfield. We asked Dion, how does he support his young quarterback?
I always pass by Kyle and say, baby, I believe in you. I'm with you, baby. 7, I'm with you. I believe in you. Just give him confidence. Because it's easy to lose your confidence in this game, man. It can take the confidence of a strong man. Not only the confidence in yourself, but in your players, in the scheme, in the system. It's easy for that to depart from you. But always knowing and not listening to your critics.
3rd and 4. That'll be a first down as Burleson makes the catch on another good throw from Brad Johnson down to the Ravens' 44-yard line.
The one thing about Brad Johnson is that the Baltimore Ravens, they know where he is going to be. Now, if he's going to roll, it'll be a short roll like he does on this play right here, just to get himself to the outside to make the throw. But they're not greedy. This is a very patient football team because they have an experienced quarterback in Brad Johnson. They'll only take exactly what you give them.
And look at his numbers. You really can't ask for much better play than he's given them. Moore tries to spin out of a tackle, and Suggs just drags him down and got some help.
We've seen Kyle Boller not throw the ball up the field. Well, Brad Johnson is basically in the same category. Just a couple of throws up the outside. A lot of his attempts and completions coming under 15 yards. Spreading it out so that the linebackers and the corners have to play and make tackles. He'll get the ball out of his hand very quick.
Brad Johnson is 64 and 42 as a starter in the National Football League. Moore got to the 41. Let's go to Neil Everett for a SportsCenter 30 at 30.
All righty, another piece to the NFC playoff puzzle is in place. Da Bears win the NFC South, picking Brett Favre 4 times in a 7-point win. Lance Briggs with the Christmas gift. Bears also get a first-round bye. Oh, what a game between the Heat and Lakers. Kobe Bryant for the tie late in South Beach. He went 0 for 8 from distance. Gary Payton D'd him up. Miami wins. Highlights and sound on SportsCenter after the game and always on ESPN News.
They're on their feet in Baltimore. Blitz coming. Johnson knocked down, incomplete, intended for Williamson. Chris McAllister on defense, but there's a flag down on the play. And the Vikings say it's against the Ravens.
Wiggins, number 85, the tight end, said he was being held.
Holding, number 21 in the defense. 5 yards, automatic first down.
That's now, McAllister who made the play.
McAllister makes a play on the other side of the field, and they call him for holding on this side of the field.
Well, he wasn't covering Wiggins.
No, I know he wasn't. But this flag was thrown over here on the right-hand side of the field.
This is also the second penalty that Chris McAllister has gotten. If you're going to be a pressure defense, you have to live with your corners bumping and playing close. You won't see many calls like that on the Vikings defensive side because they don't play a lot of man-to-man.
Ravens crowd the line of scrimmage, and Moore just puts his head down and pounds inside the 35 into Kimoyatu.
There's Chris McAllister down the bottom. As Williamson goes across, they said he's grabbing him. He's got his left arm on him, but he's within 5 yards. You just can't quite tell whether he was hanging on. The officials felt like he did.
I think they got the number wrong. I think they were calling on somebody else.
They said he held on to him.
Big blitz, quick release, and the Vikings are going to come out of this in great shape as the pass was complete to Travis Taylor. What a job by Brad Johnson. He saw everybody coming and got it out of there in a heartbeat.
What I say a little while ago, what the Baltimore Ravens have to do, and that's not miss tackles. Samari roll, misses a tackle. You got to make this play. You're there, you got to wrap them up. They don't. They get the first down.
You don't think that's satisfying for Travis Taylor? Spent all these years here in Baltimore. They didn't feel like he was the guy that could get it done. Now all of a sudden makes some big plays against his former teammates.
Came to Minnesota as a free agent this year. Moore again couldn't get by Suggs, trying to fire up that defensive unit.
Well, they've got everybody, the Baltimore Ravens, on the line of scrimmage, and what they're doing is they're gonna stop the run. Anything that goes up the middle, and then go on their way to get to Brad Johnson.
This is not a misprint. We do this all the time. We're comparing the starting quarterbacks, and they have identical numbers. I don't think I've ever seen that this late in the ballgame.
But one of the numbers that the Raven defense better keep an eye on is number 87, Marcus Robinson. He's their red zone guy. He's the one that they try and get the ball to.
Johnson in trouble. Down he goes at the 23. Tommy Polley, along with a lot of other purple shirts, applying the pressure.
Terrell Suggs almost took the ball away. Brad Johnson, you just can't talk about how smart he really is. But just take a look at these guys now. They're coming up the middle at Brad Johnson. They want to keep him in the pocket so that when he moves, he has to move up into the defense. And that's exactly what they did. And they sacked him.
3rd and long.
This is where you don't want to get another defensive holding penalty.
Pressure from the outside. Johnson throws and it's dropped. Brad Johnson got the ball there, and they can't convert it. Taylor had the ball at the 6-yard line and just dropped it.
Terrell Suggs, number 55, is coming off the outside. And look at the pressure. Here he comes to the right of the screen. He's going to put the pressure on Brad Johnson. Now, when Brad Johnson throws this ball should have been caught. This is wide open.
Oh, you got to make that grab.
Now you want to know why Travis Taylor isn't here?
40-yard field goal try by Edinger. And the Vikings have regained the lead with 4:14 to go, 3rd quarter. 20-17, Vikings in a game they have to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. They get an Edinger field goal, and they're up by 3.
If you like hitting, this is a Christmas bonus for you.
Well, I didn't get my Whizzinator that I asked Santa for, so I'm going to have to go with the...
Somebody else had that.
Chester Taylor. Taken down at the 20-yard line. It's been a great night for Kyle Bowler, back-to-back after the best game of his life. He's trying to repeat it again and win a ball game. Tiki Barber and the Giants will continue their drive to the playoffs against the Raiders on New Year's Eve on ESPN to kick off an NFL double coverage weekend at 8 Eastern. Then on Sunday, Bill Parcells' Cowboys fight for a playoff spot when they host the Rams. That's on Sunday Night Football at 8:30 Eastern. Hope you'll join us from Big D for that one.
For a New Year's D.
Oops. And they may want to take that one out of the playbook. They're trying to do anything they can to get the ball to Mark Clayton.
He may be a rookie, but he's not stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Jonathan Ogden, and you know.
Boy, this whole offensive line is beaten up.
Yeah, you would be through 15 weeks of a season. As much pounding as these guys take.
Jonathan Ogden, he's trying to block here, and he knows there's, well, he sees Clayton's in trouble, so he comes back to the outside.
Looks like Clayton got him.
Bowler under pressure, flushed out of the pocket, and throws that in the flat, short.
Oh, no.
And now Mason is hurt.
Don't boo him now. That young man has had a pretty good night. He throws a bad pass and they boo him.
Tempers are short.
Yeah. All right. Here comes Mason inside. Now he gets whacked. Ooh. Man, he got hit right in the mouth by Sam Coward.
Well, he stumbled against his own man, ran right into Coward. Now it's 3rd and 13. Bowler underneath Taylor, trying to get enough yardage for a first down, and he has.
That's such a nice job by Kyle Bowler. Just set in the pocket, let the defense go back, dump the ball off, and let the running back go get it. This is a 5-yard pass. That's a 5-yard pass and an 8-yard run. Nice job of knowing where everyone is and then just let the other guys go do their job. I mean, that's the thing that I've seen tonight in Kyle Bowler. He is just doing his job, getting the ball in the hands of other people.
Nice effort by Chester Taylor to get that yardage and keep the drive alive. And now Jamal Lewis tries to make it cut to the outside, but there's no place to go. And Brian Williams, good run support off the corner.
You see what Brian Williams did? He saw Jamal coming after him, and he said, whoa, wait a minute. Let me go down here around these ankles and just knock his feet out from underneath him. There's no sense of me trying to hit this guy up in the chest.
Jamal Lewis reminds me of Jerome Bettis with those short little choppy steps. They're both big guys, very nifty with their feet.
Except not only is he nifty, he can fly. Bowler unloads. Had Clayton by a half a step and missed him. Darren Sharper.
I think Darren Sharper grabbed him. I think Darren Sharper put a little bit of a hand on him when he was going by. He's gone up the field. You can't quite tell on that shot.
Well, the crowd got another shot on the Jumbotron here and really reacted to it.
See, I think he grabs his, matter of fact, I know he grabs his shirt. This is a bad job of officiating right here.
And look at Brian Billick. He is just livid that wasn't called. Blitz coming. Bowler is drilled, and the pass nearly intercepted Devontae Edwards. And Bowler, this may be roughing the passer. And it is.
Look at the passer. Early to defense. A ball with a helmet. 15 yards, automatic first down.
I'll tell you what Sharper did. First of all, he did grab late going by. But then after, he really was beaten on the play. And then Sharper goes, well, don't worry about it. I had him covered, which you didn't. Then you come back and make another play where you hit the quarterback.
Both times that the Minnesota Vikings have tried to blitz the quarterback. One, they gave up a touchdown.
Yep.
On this one now, they give up a roughing penalty and an automatic first down. And Brian Billick has every right to be livid, absolutely livid, over the missed call by the back judge.
Especially when it's right in the middle of the field with nobody else out there.
Two guys there, a defender and an offender.
Well, flag down.
They're going to whistle this play dead as Corey Chavis wraps up Jamal Lewis.
Ball start, 81 offense. 5 yards, first down.
That's DeVard Darling.
Top right of your frame. Watch number 42 grab. Look at him on the jersey. Right there. You can see him. Look at him holding on to his shirt. That's what everybody was so livid about. And rightfully so, I think.
How do you not see that?
Pro bowlers sometimes get away with it, I guess.
No.
1st and 15, a lot of long yardage situations in this drive. Mason with the short grab, and Mason a couple of weeks ago, as Sam Cowart made the tackle, said he felt like a glorified running back because all he was catching was 5- and 6-yard passes.
You know, the one thing, you brought this point up earlier in the game, Joe, about the Minnesota Vikings defense. They're going to let you get the short one, and then they close. So if that's the case, you've got to get that ball in that intermediate area, anywhere between 10 and 12 yards.
And I think, and Todd Heap has been absent here in this quarter quite a bit. You got to find him again.
2nd and 13. Bowler throws, incomplete. They said it hit the ground. And Mason is really upset. He wants his coach to challenge. And Brian Billick says no, and then Mason is upset with Billick.
See, you know what? It's interesting. These challenges that are available to coaches, I think the first thing that I would say to a player is, look, let me be the judge, okay? That ball's on the ground. Don't go running to the coach. Go catch the football and do your job. I'll coach and handle the challenge.
Here comes the ball bouncing off the ground, and Brian Billick was standing right there. He was even with the catch. He had a perfect angle to see it.
Bowler, big 3rd down here. This one's complete, and it's enough for a 1st down. Mason made that catch before he was drilled by Fred Smoot.
You know what's so impressive? And this is Jim Fossil as an offensive coordinator. He came back with the same exact route. It was the same ball that Kyle Bowler threw low, and this time he got it up right. And Derek Mason does the same thing. Todd Heap's inside. Mason pushes it off, makes the play. Freddie Smoot can't make the tackle. Makes it late.
This has been a tremendously impressive drive, particularly for Kyle Bowler, because he has had himself in a situation where he's 2nd and 12, 3rd and 14, and he's made the play.
And Jim Fossil, their offensive coordinator, got a lot of criticism for the way they played early in the year, but he didn't really have a healthy quarterback. He didn't have a healthy running back. He didn't have a healthy wide receiver.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter here in Baltimore. The Vikings by 3 over the Ravens. It's Christmas for at least another hour, and the Vikings want an extra gift. They win, they stay alive. If they lose, they have to say goodbye to their playoff hopes. Right now, they are up by 3 over the Baltimore Ravens, who have the ball and are driving.
Well, they were thoroughly convinced when they came into this ball game that if they stopped Jamal Lewis from running the ball, which they have done so far in 3 quarters, that there's no way that Kyle Bowler can beat them. Well, guess what, folks? Kyle Bowler's not only playing for his life, he's playing for a job for next year.
Jonathan Ogden was slow to get up. He's having his knee taped. They have already lost Edwin Mulatalo to an injury, and they had injuries along the offensive line before that. So a patchwork job up front for the Ravens.
How about these Ravens? 3rd and 12, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 14, and they picked them all up.
Sooner or later, that catches up to you, though. You can't go 3rd and a lot too often.
Well, they have 2nd and a lot.
2nd and 8 right here. Vikings show blitz. Bowler sees it and changes the play.
Comes Sharper.
Blitz coming. Bowler underneath, and it's incomplete to Clayton. Good coverage by Antoine Winfield.
Chester Taylor saw Sharper coming on a blitz, and Chester Taylor just stepped up and did it. Number 29, look at this. Here comes, there's Sharper up in the air. He lets him go up in the air, and he just hit him right in the stomach.
Here's another big, long 3rd down.
This is where they catches everything?
This is a little bit of that no man's land. Is it 4-down territory? You try the extra long field goal.
8 out of 11 on third down. Great success for them. Bowler. Mason. Touchdown.
Oh, does he run a sweet move on Anton Winfield. Great blocking. Terrific patience by Kyle Bowler. Wonderful route by Derek Mason to sell him on the stop and go.
And Derek Mason with 8 catches for 92 yards. And just going off the last 2 weeks, the evaluation of Kyle Bowler has got to be an A.
I'll tell you, I give Jim Fossil an A+ too on the way he's called this game. Every time the Minnesota Vikings have tried to come after Kyle Bowler, they have gotten burned. 2 touchdowns and a penalty.
And Bowler is 21 out of 30. 3 touchdowns, 248 yards. If you're auditioning, that's not bad. Vaccaro's opened in 1956. Beautiful Italian pastry shop.
Food.
Joe's gone.
Delicious food.
John's Waldo's leaving.
It's tough. It's tough not to like an Italian pastry shop. Corin Robinson for the Minnesota Vikings.
Devontae Edwards is the corner. He's right there. What's going to happen is you're going to see this route by Derek Mason. He comes down and then just takes off and goes. It's a beautiful job. Offensive line blocks, little sell inside. Oh, just beat him bad. He tried to jump up. He was going to jump the route. Derek Mason goes by him. He can't even catch up to him. Yeah, Cowboys says touchdown. Ouch. He just got to figure out how to stay in one piece for a lot of football, and he'll be fine.
Moore bounces it outside, refuses to give up, and he'll still lose a yard.
Dewan Edwards decided to put the body slam on him at the end. Bounce around long enough, one of those big guys going to hit you.
Well, and another thing about this defense, too, and they prided themselves in it, they've got great speed on this defense, and if you're going to bounce around and try to get yourself back to the outside, it's not going to happen against these guys because they're all smart enough to stay at home. They might have missed some tackles in this ball game, but they're in the right position to make them.
A lot of time left in this fourth quarter. Pressure coming on Johnson, and down he goes at the 15-yard line. Suggs underneath, and over the top, Kelly Gregg and Kimoyatu.
There was nowhere for Brad Johnson to go with this football. He has absolutely nobody open. The pressure comes up. He's got to hold it a little bit longer than he wants to. Kelly Gregg really is the one that created the problem for him.
Did you see Suggs come around the outside and get Brad Johnson by the foot as he was falling down?
3rd and a mile. Screen to Moore. Breaks a tackle. Mewelde Moore out to the 30, but that will be shy of a first down. They got a lot of it back. Peter Boulware, who used to be the face of this team on defense, getting few opportunities anymore to play.
Tommy
he got
Polley
it on that stop.
Tommy Polley again, number 50. Paul, you've talked about it. Number 50 comes up. He takes the shot and just flat misses and gives up another 15 yards of a completion. That's 15 yards of field position that you give up because you come out out of control.
Boy, he just got it out of there. And it will be touchdown at the 34-yard line. Kick of 34. And Ed Reed nearly made a huge play on special teams. Friday night, a couple of great college football bowl games for you. First, South Carolina and Missouri in the Independence Bowl at 3:30 Eastern. Then 2 top 10 clubs, Miami and LSU, square off in the Peach Bowl. That is a 7:30 start on ESPN. Hope you'll join us for those ball games. And the Ravens take over at their own 33, up 24-20. Lewis may see a bigger dose of the big tailback after this.
Kyle Bowler's followed up one great performance last week with another one tonight. The first one to Todd Heap, split out wide. The Vikings want to try and go after him, but he doesn't give it up, and the Vikings come after him again, and he burns them twice. Once to Clayton, this one to Mason, and absolutely loving it by the coach.
Kyle Bowler may be going from a major question mark to the correct answer here in Baltimore. Out in the flat to Lewis. It's another decisive play by Bowler. He looks downfield, doesn't find his first receiver, and hits the man on a swing.
But did you see Jamal Lewis? As soon as he touched the ball, he was flying. He was going full speed. Watch as soon as he comes out to the outside, catches the ball, look, turn. He's already gone. He's already full speed. He's got the first down.
Tell you one other thing, too. That is the toughest throw to make for a quarterback, to lead a running back like that and get him in stride.
He has thrown for a career-high 259 tonight. Back to the ground and Lewis. And the Viking defense has to step up now for them to stay in this ball game. They cannot afford to give up another touchdown. The numbers on Bowler last week, 253. Tonight he has exceeded that. 6 touchdown throws, no picks in 2 weeks.
And when we talked to Sam Cowart, the middle linebacker of the Minnesota Vikings, he basically said, we don't believe, if we stop them from running the football, we do not believe that Kyle Bowler can throw the ball 30 to 40 times and beat us. Well, Kyle Bowler's proven him wrong so far. It's not over yet, but he's proven him wrong.
Bowler down the middle, too high, and it's picked off by Sharper. Darren Sharper, who is on the way to the Pro Bowl, gets his 9th interception, the 45th of his career. That was not a good throw by Bowler. And a big break for the Vikings. Darren Sharper with his 9th pick, giving the Vikings a chance here. They're down by 4. The Minnesota Vikings have not scored a point in the 4th quarter of their last 3 games. They need them now. Blitz coming. Johnson throws underneath, incomplete.
On that last play, Darren Sharper up to your far left-hand corner. What he does is he does an excellent job of reading Kyle Bowler. Sees Bowler, now he's gonna break in behind Clayton. The problem is Mark Clayton really doesn't give Kyle Bowler a clear look. He sort of hesitates and then he accelerates. And it's tough to be able to lead somebody when you're not quite sure where they're going to be.
Ravens show blitz and come with it again. Johnson trying to stay alive. Does. Mewelde Moore. What a move, and he's got a first down. That was sensational.
Well, I'll tell you what. Terrell Suggs thought he had him, number 55, and Mewelde Moore. You talk about great presence of where you are. Mewelde Moore catches the ball. First of all, look at him. Make sure he has a catch. Now he sees Suggs. Whoops. I'll just stop for a second, let you go by, and then I'll pick up the first down. That was just outstanding by the receiver.
These Vikings running backs and wide receivers have done an excellent job running through tackles, making defenders overrun them all night.
A young man who has been slowed by injuries all year long. Johnson airs it out. Caught out of bounds.
You wondered when he was going to take a shot down the field.
Well, he did. Troy Williamson in between defenders got the ball, but came down out of bounds. This is a game the Vikings must win. They are still alive in the wild card race, although Carolina and Washington both control their own destinies. Dallas and Minnesota are still alive, but they have to win and they need help. Mike Tice faced so much this year, he has kept his club together. Johnson under pressure completes another one to Marcus Robinson. Johnson's had people draped all over him for the last few minutes.
You know what you really like about Johnson, and Kyle Bowler is doing a lot of the same thing. But Johnson, what he's doing is he knows what, I can't get him deep. I tried that, so I'll pick up 5. Now if I put it at 5, I've got 2nd and 5 or 3rd and 5 where it's all manageable. That's just avoiding the tackle and making the play.
Another blitz coming. Johnson, Kleinsaucer, or Wiggins rather, and he'll be stopped a yard shy of the first down.
Mike Tice has got himself a decision to make. Do you go for it here on 4th down, or do you punt him back? He's deciding to punt him. Back to your point earlier in the ball game, they don't have that big back on short yardage to run for it. They really can't take the chance, and if Kleinsaucer kept his footing or Wiggins kept his footing, he'd have been able to pick up the first down. Now, how does Kyle Bowler respond after he's made a mistake? He hadn't made a mistake in 2 games. This is another thing that Brian Billick has to evaluate. Fair catch made at the 11. Will it be in Kyle Bowler's hands or in Jamal Lewis's hands as they're backed up to the 11-yard line? (24-20) Ravens. Time getting short here in Baltimore. 8:07 to go in the ball game. Kyle Bowler, back-to-back games, 3+ touchdown passes, the first time since '89. Let's go to Susie.
Mike, one thing that Kyle Bowler's teammates have been very clear and candid about is his future. Even his go-to guy, closest friend on the team, Todd Heap, believes that Kyle would benefit from not just being handed the starting job next year, but rather competing for it. And Heap added that Kyle's problem has all been in his head. There's not a throw he can't make. He's got the athletic ability. He can run. He's smart enough, but it comes down to that mental makeup, and we'll see what he's got right here. This series means a lot to his future as well as the game.
Ravens took a timeout, and that was called from the bench.
Timeout, 7:24 to go from Baltimore. .24 to go in the game. The Ravens over the Vikings 24-20. Todd Heap certainly active early in the ball game, but Joe, in the second half, we haven't called his name at all. Todd Heap, and it's not that the Minnesota Vikings have done that good a job on him. You see him giving a little bit of resistance off the line, getting hammered as he tries to release inside. But there have been times when he's had a free release up the field, and the Ravens haven't found him. I think in this drive, it's critical that you find your playmakers. Todd Heap is the Ravens' playmaker in the passing game. You would expect a team like the Ravens to feature Jamal Lewis in this situation, though, wouldn't you? Nope. Lance Johnstone after Bowler. Mason makes the catch. He'll pick up 10 or 11.
Well, I'll tell you what. This shows me the maturity of Kyle Bowler. On that play, he breaks himself back to the outside. But when he does, watch him square himself around to throw the ball. Here he goes. He's forced out of the pocket. Now watch him turn, and he gets himself square where you can throw the ball to Mason.
And he tried to get the ball to Mason early. Derek Mason, as a veteran, kept on working and got himself in position.
I'll tell you what else I think that shows. It's the confidence in the coaching staff and Kyle Bowler. Lewis somehow turned the corner, but goes out of bounds. Derek Mason, 9 catches for 103 yards tonight. giving him 83 for the season. And in the last 3 years, only Torrey Holt and Chad Johnson have more than Derek Mason. Normally, you don't think of a Derek Mason in that same category.
Not true. You think of Marvin Harrison? Somebody like that? He's sure proving it tonight, though.
Lewis again on 2nd and 8. And this will bring up a big third down play again as the clock continues to run.
One thing about Lewis has carried the last 15 times that Jamal Lewis has carried the ball. Up until that run he just picked up 4 yards on, he didn't have one run over 3.
And that one, I believe, officially only 2.
Well, the one before that he picked up 4, but he lost a couple.
Bowler to the shotgun. Blitz coming. They've been burned when they've done it, and they're burned again. Clayton gets out of bounds. It seems almost every time that they have come after Bowler tonight, he has responded with his best throw.
That time, Mark Clayton beat a heck of a corner, Anton Winfield. He's coming across. They ran a lot of crossing routes. A lot of crossing routes in practice. Kyle Bowler doing an excellent job, but it starts up front with this offensive line. You can't say enough about the job they have done giving Kyle Bowler a chance to be comfortable in the pocket.
And Multalo is back in there. He was banged up in the first half. Bowler to throw on 1st down. Pump fake and deep. And throws it out of bounds as Mason. Now there's a flag down. It's in the secondary. And the indication it's against the Vikings.
Holding.
I love the call.
Holding, 55 of the defense. 5 yards, automatic 1st down.
Sam Cowart, the guilty party.
I love the aggressive call of Jim Fossil. He's not sitting back just handing it off.
All right, here's Sam Cowart. He's number 55. That's Todd Heap. He's got, you can't grab him around by the shoulders and pull him where you want to pull him.
You can bump him within 5.
Oh, yeah, but
tackling
you can't hold
not
him.
Legal.
Well, now you know why Todd Heap really hadn't been open since the first quarter.
Chester Taylor lowers his head, picks up a couple of extra yards, give him 6 on the run. Let's go to Susie.
Well, I want to go back to Mark Clayton because at a time when most rookies are fading, he's rising. Bottom line, he's been a homebody. He knows the value of taking care of his legs, taking care of his body. And he told me that it all clicked for him just a couple of weeks ago. All of a sudden, he could see the game in his head, feel when he'd be open, see the ball coming. And he said since then, he actually remembers what happens in a game. Before that, everything went by so fast, he couldn't remember a thing.
One of the reasons they drafted him, he was so good at Oklahoma after making the catch, and that was something the Ravens didn't do very well at all. And there goes the big man. Jamal Lewis inside the 25.
Well, here's another guy that we talked about at the beginning that's playing for a job. Now, they've been stopping him and stopping him and stopping him. But once he breaks back to the outside, he gets some excellent blocking, and he runs right through Sharper and Winfield. You know, this guy is so big and so strong.
And fast.
And fast.
And that's his 20th carry. He's just a back, and he's right. He gets stronger as the game goes on.
This is an impressive drive by the Ravens. Taylor again. Chavis comes up from the safety spot and drilled him at the line of scrimmage.
Let me explain something to you. You can get stronger as the game goes on if you get the blocking. Now, that last play that he ran, he went back to the outside. There was nobody there, and he picked that up. But when you go up into the middle, like he's been going up in the middle, there's no yardage if they don't block for you. I don't care how many times you carry the ball.
I said Taylor had the carry. It was obviously Lewis, 31. Clock is running. It's up to the Vikings. They have to hold him to at least a field goal here.
Well, Minnesota's defense has risen to the occasion in every ball game of that 6-game streak that they had. Now it's time for Pat Williams, Sam Cowart, Kevin Williams to do it again.
I'll tell you what.
The clock is just being eaten up here.
This is the call that tells you how much confidence or what the coaching staff feels about their young quarterback. Do you put it in his hands to be able to go out and make a throw to try and pick up third down, or do you run it into a position where you take a shot at a long field goal?
They're going to let this clock run down and then take their second timeout.
From here, it would be about a 41-yard field goal try if they don't pick any additional yardage on third down.
Matt Stover is really, I mean, he's 10 for 13 from this distance.
I'm going to tell you what, you know what I like about this, what I think they're going to do, and so do you, is here's a time where you let this kid go ahead and throw the ball. You're up by 4 points. You're not going anywhere in the playoffs. You got a chance of knocking a team out. A field goal only gets you to 7, where they have a chance to come back and tie you. I'm going to tell you what, let this kid play the game. This is where you let him, I think you let him throw the ball.
I think you try and pick up the first down.
Sure you do.
I agree with you.
No?
Here's the oddity to me in this game. You've got the Ravens, who are a defensive football team. They have scored 24 points tonight. And you have the Vikings, who had been led by their defense. They come in here and score 20 against the Baltimore defense. This has been a strange game.
No, but both quarterbacks have played very efficiently. I don't care how good a defense is. When you have both quarterbacks playing this efficiency, this is the kind of game you get. For the Vikings, this could be a chance to go to the playoffs or a chance to go home.
Hines is the only wide receiver, and they'll keep it on the ground with Chester Taylor. And this will take us to the 2-minute warning and send out the Ravens field goal team for the opportunity to go up by 7. It will be a 38-yard try by Matt Stover when we come back. Hope you'll stay tuned for Sports Center coming up with Carl Ravitch and Neil Everett, our NFC playoff scramble, Shaq and Kobe, and Boomer's top 10 plays.
And to everybody, a very Merry Christmas, and what an entertaining Christmas Day game. Get to get your turkey to digest on a exciting, well-played football game.
What turkey?
You had turkey?
Oh, we had carp.
Here's Stover from 38 yards out, and it's a 7-point ball game. It has been a struggle for the Ravens as a franchise to find a quarterback. Scott Mitchell, Stoney Case, Tony Banks, Trent Dilfer, Elvis Gerbeck, Randall Cunningham, Redmond Blake, Bowler, Anthony Wright, and of course Trent Dilfer won the Super Bowl for them, and then he was unceremoniously let go. And since then, it's just been a terrible struggle.
I think Elvis Gerbeck was one of their biggest mistakes. You thought you were going to get veteran to come in here. You got a guy who didn't want to play football. Chris Redmond proved he couldn't. Chris Redmond basically was in the same situation as Kyle Bowler was. Go out and show us what you can do. This kid's impressed.
Yeah, but there's some other names on that baby. We're a little shaky also.
I don't. Obviously, there's an evaluation process, and Kyle Bowler is doing everything he can to prove that he is the guy that can get it done. I've been very impressed with his poise over the last 2 games. He didn't play a really bad game in Denver either. Made a couple of mistakes, tried to force the ball. But in the last 3 weeks, he's been quite efficient.
Well, the Vikings aren't thinking about next year. Right now, they're thinking about the last minute 55 of this game because their playoff hopes are now on the line.
And I think against a Raven defense that likes to bring pressure, there's a chance for some big plays for the Vikings.
And they brought pressure more and more here in the second half. Robinson to the 25. So 75 yards away from tying it up.
Corin Robinson has been very silent tonight. He's been a guy, obviously he's going to the Pro Bowl as a kick returner, but he also has provided a lot of spark to this offense in their run of winning 6 of their last 7 ball games. Tonight he's been a non-factor.
Well, and Brad Johnson is from the old Brett Favre school. Move the chains. You've got 3 timeouts. You got 1 minute and 49 seconds. You've got to score a touchdown. I understand that. But the most important thing you could do now is move the chains.
Suggs jumped off but got back. Johnson sidearms it and it's dropped right in Corn Robinson's hands.
You know, you jinxed him.
Hey, that's the first time he's thrown to him. How can I jinx him? You know, Brad Johnson has a lot of different deliveries. There's one that's back behind him a little bit. The pressure really forced him to change his delivery.
Robinson only 1 catch tonight, 5 yards. Delayed blitz. Loose ball. And the Ravens have it.
Adalys Thomas makes the play by running down Brad Johnson.
Adalys Thomas, you have to understand, folks, is 6'2". He weighs 270 pounds. And when they timed him at one time, he's like a 4'6" guy. Maybe a little less than 4'6". But here's the one thing about him. He just never quits. We said about him before about all the positions he makes. He comes through clean. He grabs the back arm of Brad Johnson. And this is just hustle. Look at the speed. This man weighs 270 pounds, and he runs down Johnson from behind.
And he's finally getting his due. With Ray Lewis not available, but for 5 games this year, Adalys Thomas has picked up the slack and stepped in.
Adalys Thomas, as Anthony Weaver gets the recovery, has played all 11 defensive spots at one time or another. Tonight, he played 1 more. He's the hero.
Yeah.
The Vikings have all 3 timeouts, and I'm sure they'll use them.
Jamal Lewis. The Vikings have to go for the football.
Guys, we saw, watching the game, the Monday night game against Green Bay, Jamal Lewis really looked like he ran hard. And I was talking to Jim Fossil, their offensive coordinator, and he said, hey, look, he had a look in his eye that I hadn't seen for a long time, a look of determination. He's getting that feeling back now. You can see it.
If the Vikings lose, they are out. They are under new ownership, the Wilf family. Mike Tice has been given a semi-vote of confidence for the way he rallied this team, because Ziggy Wilf said he did not anticipate major changes during the offseason.
That's Ziggy
but
to the
not
left.
Anticipating them and doing it are 2 different things. Lewis stood up at the 5.
I think you have
the Vikings will stop the clock with 1:17.
Sorry, Mike. I think you have to take a look at the job that Mike Tice has done. They were 1-4, 2-5 early in this ball game, or early in the season, and he managed to put together a string. He believed in this football team. He admitted he went through some tough times last year in the offseason, but I think that he's brought in some key people. I just don't know how much you can saddle him with the problems of some of the players. These guys are pros. They have to conduct themselves
They're
like that.
also adults, and
you'd hope that they have some sense about what they do.
Yeah, what happened on the boat deal has nothing to do with him. I mean, here's a guy that you can't spend 24 hours a day with these guys. These are grown men. They're professionals. They're supposed to do what they're supposed to do. But I'm going to tell you the one thing about Mike Tice that I think that he may not be there. You want to take a look at all the options that you have. Where is he going to go out really now and find any coaches that he can actually bring in when he doesn't even know if he's going to have a job?
Lewis dove to the 1. They will rule him down there and stop the clock at 1:06.
Well, Jamal Lewis, this is on him. I mean, that's Sharper, number 42, trying to make the tackle at the end. But you see where his knees were down and where the ball is, where his knees are down. They'll take a look at it. That ball's put back almost at the 1-yard line.
It's clearly not in.
And the Minnesota Vikings took another timeout, their last timeout.
That's 74 hard yards.
Yes, it is.
And he's the kind of a running back that can do that. Going back to
let me just say one other thing about Mike Tyson. The players love Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was a player. They know. I mean, here's a guy that never lost his cool. Now the question is, does he get another chance with this football team?
And what about
do you make a wholesale change?
What about Dante Culpepper? What's Dante Culpepper's situation? Does he want to come back to Minnesota? There are a lot of questions that need to be answered in Minnesota.
Stover with a 19-yard try that would make it a 10-point ball game. And does. So the Ravens appear to have slammed the door on the Vikings' hope of staying alive in the playoff chase. Seattle in the NFC has clinched home field advantage throughout. This is if the Vikings lose. Chicago clinches a first-round bye. They have already done that. Tampa Bay at 10-5, the leader in their division. The Giants, as a result of the loss tonight, would clinch a playoff berth, not the division as yet. Then Carolina and Washington have the 2 remaining playoff spots in the wild card, but Dallas would still be alive pending the results of next week.
And then you think Tampa, I think, gets New Orleans this week.
Yes.
And then Carolina gets Atlanta.
Which is out of it.
Right, but they could still make it a mess for Carolina. And Washington, they go to Philadelphia and play, and will be in Dallas for St. Louis and Dallas next Sunday night.
Disappointment on the face of the Vikings. Brad Johnson, whose numbers were so terrific, has seen the Ravens take over here in the second half. Now they're up by 10.
No, you don't pull for any team. You really don't when you do a game. But you think about all the adversity this Minnesota Vikings team went through, most of it caused by themselves. But to come back that far and then lose out 2 games before the season's over, I mean, it's just hard to take. These guys fought. I mean, they were
kickoff out of bounds. The ball be placed at the 40, 1st and 10.
Kyle Bowler just getting acquainted with the linemen. I'll sit with these guys for a while, and I'll tell you what else you ought to do. Come Monday or Tuesday, take those guys to dinner.
Now Mike Flynn to his left, number 62. I mean, you look at the job that he has done in the last couple of ball games, and you get the sense that this team is now starting to feel like they have a young guy, a leader that they can count on.
Well, the one thing that Brian Billick said to us, he said, if I don't bring him back next year and he's not my starting quarterback, who is? Who do I bring in here? Where do I go get a quarterback? Name me someone out there that's going to be available. And it really is going to be a test.
The Vikings facing a nearly impossible task now as Wiggins makes the catch and gets out of bounds.
Any suggestions on another quarterback?
I don't, off the top of my head, I think there are guys, certainly Patrick Ramsey's situation in Washington is one. He looks like he's going to start this week against the Cowboys, pending an MRI on Mark Brunell. You've got Aaron Brooks maybe out in New Orleans. Kerry Collins maybe out in Oakland. Phillip Rivers is always a topic of conversation. I'm sure he doesn't want to stay in San Diego, but I think this kid's earned the right to play football here.
Wiggins again.
I think, like I said, when I said in the beginning of the show, I believe that Kyle Bowler has to prove that he can stay healthy enough to be able to lead this football team. He's in a similar situation as Rex Grossman is in Chicago. We've seen you do it for a short period of time. Now can you line up and play and be our quarterback that we can count on staying healthy?
Well, one of the biggest problems I think that some of the players on this team really faced was the fact that when Kyle Bowler was drafted as the #1 draft choice 3 years ago, he was handed the quarterback job. And they thought, I mean, a lot of these guys thought, well, this is not a good thing.
Moore down to the 39-yard line. The Vikings can no longer stop the clock except with an incomplete pass or getting out of bounds. And they need 2 scores. Brad Johnson will kill it here with 33 seconds left to go.
You look at the class of quarterbacks that Kyle Boller came in with. Carson Palmer sat. Byron Leftwich sat. Rex Grossman didn't play right away. Kyle Boller was asked to come in and just be the keeper of a football team that ran the football well and played great defense. I don't, if they'd have just said, come on in and play football, I think he'd have been better off instead of just saying, go babysit it for us while we nurse you along. So partially the organization's responsible too.
Wiggins again. He's caught 3 passes on this drive down to the 29-yard line. Clock continues to run. And Johnson hustles him up to the line and downs the ball. Kills the clock with 20 seconds to go.
I think Brad Johnson now has got to take some shots in the end zone.
Wait a minute. What he did is he signaled to the sideline, let's kick a field goal now, then we'll have an onside kick. He said, let's get the 3.
Yeah, and I like that. I think that is very smart.
Brad Johnson's the guy that signaled to the bench.
Problem is they have no timeouts.
But there's no sense wasting any more time now. You need 2 scores. Get this one. Try the onside kick. The smart call. Edinger from 46.
Well, they got that 3. Now the onside kick,
That's
which is my
first
favorite
part
play.
of the formula.
That's right. This is my favorite part of the game. I love the onside kick.
Would you have liked to have been on the hands team?
I was on the hands team.
Were you? With all those guys coming at
for
you?
11 years. I loved it. You know why? You know what you really like about it? If you're on the kickoff return team, and you know they're going to onside kick, and I was usually not one of the guys right there, but I was kind of a blocker. You can wax anybody you want. I'm not kidding you, because the officials don't pay any attention to you. They're looking at the ball, and I'm going to tell you, I laid some guys out you wouldn't believe.
You were the assigned protector.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
You weren't really on the hands team. You were like the protector part of the hands team.
I was the guy that that just go get somebody.
Go make sure nobody hits.
Take them out. I mean, but nobody even paid any attention to you. Because they're all looking at the ball, and everybody thinks, hey, I'm going to go get the ball. Well, I'm going to whack.
So you cheap shot it, guys.
Well, there was a guy that came down to the kickoff one time. He was a good friend of mine, Howard Kindig, and I hit him and broke his jaw.
Yeah, you cheap shot him.
Caught him going by. Howard went down like a rock.
Merry Christmas to you too,
and a Happy New Year.
What did you do to your enemies?
It was so much fun playing special teams. I swear to you, because they really don't pay attention to a lot of stuff that goes on in the big pile. They're always out in the middle. I didn't hit anybody way out in the middle.
This is one of those scenarios. Back to this situation. You better make sure that you hit those guys coming down to try and field it.
There they go. Watch this.
Yeah. Recovered by the Ravens at the 40-yard line. Chad Williams snatched it on one hop and covered up.
Nice adjustment by the Ravens up front. Chad Williams goes up, catches the ball. Protect, don't do anything foolish, get to the ground.
And now the Vikings are helpless because they cannot stop the clock. And only 13 seconds to go.
Just a week or two ago, we thought of Mike Tice as a possible Coach of the Year candidate for the job he did bringing his ball club back. And
a lot of people had mentioned him in that regard.
And I think he deserves to coach this football team for another contract.
I would love to see that.
And given an opportunity to be able to go out and hire some people. And I believe that Brian Billick should be the coach of the Baltimore Ravens as well.
Our final score from Baltimore, the Ravens 30, the Vikings 20. Stay tuned for SportsCenter. For Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, Susie Culver, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick saying goodnight from M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. Merry Christmas, everyone.
This is SportsCenter.
The Bears trying to put a bow on the NFC North. Brett Favre, though, playing with Packer pride. The Vikings in a must-win slugfest with the Ravens, which NFC wannabes will survive a less-than-merry playoff hunt. Plus, from a pregame snub to some postgame chatter, don't miss Kobe and Shaq's second annual holiday bash on SportsCenter right now. How's it? Welcome to Sports Center. Wishing you a happy holidays with Carl Ravitch. I'm Neil Everett.
Neil, Brett Favre's in a daze this Christmas. 2 NFL games to get to shortly. 2 teams clinching playoff spots, but that's stuff for the stocking. Big presents first.
Would Brett Favre and the Packers have enough powder in the muzzleloader for this bear hunt? Chicago wins the NFC North if it wins at Green Bay. Rex Grossman, first start since week 3 of last year. First quarter, 3rd and goal. Grossman, Muhsin Muhammad, touchdown. Bears up 7-0. Early second, Packers answer back, or so they think, after the hugging. A lot of hugging. It's Christmas. Favre, tackle eligible, Mark Tauscher. Big fella, 6'6", right there with reservations for 6, and then he does, and I don't think we can call this, can we call that the Lambeau leap? No.
It was fall.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It made for great video, but it was called back on a penalty, so it's like it never happened. Same drive, 3rd and goal, Favre picked off by Mike Green, but defensive pass interference, so it's like it never happened. 1st and goal, this happened for real. Noah Herron, say cheese! First career touchdown. And this game is tied. Now that's a leap right there. Still tied, still second quarter. Grossman, Gator flashback, going deep. Bernard Berrien, 54 yards. Pack also getting called for a roughing the passer. Grossman, 11 of 23, 166 yards. Same drive, same score, not anymore. Thomas Jones, 25 carries, 105 yards, and the Bears lead 14-7 at the half. 3rd quarter, Brett Favre never saw Lance Briggs, and he is not going to like what he sees here. Christmas gift. Briggs walks in. Bears 24-7 after 3, 4th quarter. Packers playing catch-up with 8 minutes to go. Antonio Chapman. Punt return up the middle, and 83 is going 85. There's no catching him, the Cincinnati Kid. And the Packers make it a 10-point game. Stayed in bounds right there. It is 24-14. 4 minutes to go. Bears 4th and 1. Field goal range. Lovie Smith, he's a gambler. Grossman going end zone. Incomplete. Muhammad can't hold on. Packers ball down 10. 2:41 left. Favre. Andre Thurman, 33 yards. This drive would lead to a 26-yard field goal, but Ryan Long will miss twice from inside 40. It's 24-17. Brett Favre, 35 career game-winning comebacks. Bucks 26 to go, and Favre to Donald Driver, 6 catches, 107 yards, 56 on that play, but Green Bay no timeouts, and the Bears defense then turned up the heat. They sacked Favre a couple times before this ended it. Favre looking for some Holy Ghost power on a Sunday. Not finding it. Intercepted by Clive Harris. Bears win 24-17. Clinch the division and a first-round bye. Bears sweep the Packers for the first time since 1991. Brett Favre, 30 of 51, 317 yards, no touchdowns, 28 picks this season. That's a record for him, one he didn't want. Back in 1993, he tossed 24 interceptions.
All right, done in the division now. The Vikings need a win to keep the hope alive in the playoff race. They're in Baltimore where the Ravens have been out of the race for 2 months. Brad Johnson, the former Ravens, Travis Taylor. Vikings go up 7-zip. That is the Visa Skycam play of the game. Ravens at their own 37. Kyle Bowler had a huge game. So did Derek Mason. Nice catch, first down. Tremendous ability to hang on to it. A few plays later, Ravens are at the 6. And Bowler finds Todd Heap. This is a heap of trouble for the Vikings. Touchdown, tied at 7. Heap was huge in the first half. And it was an afterthought in the second. Second quarter, Johnson over the middle. Corin Robinson hearing footsteps. And now he thinks he hears reindeer. Take one more look. Crushed. Penalty on the play. Drive alive. Same drive. Vikings 2nd and 25. 2nd and 25. Troy Williamson. Afterburners down the sideline. Would look like it would pick up about 8 or 10. Goes big all the way down to the Ravens 16. Baltimore missed a lot of tackles, uncharacteristic for their defense, but the Vikings D was even worse. Johnson, Jermaine Wiggins, cannon shot, 14-7. They'd lead 14-10 at the half. Jump to the 3rd quarter, 17-10 game, 3rd and 7. 3rd downs difference in this game. Bowler, Mark Clayton, and he goes in. The Ravens were a remarkable 10 of 15 on 3rd downs.
Later in the third, it's 3rd and 13. Bowler, Mason, got it. Mason went for 9 catches and 103 yards, both season highs. Last quarter, same drive. Bowler, you want to buy a pump fake? Look at everybody coming. About face. Who's open? Mason. Bowler went 24 of 34 for 289. Ravens up 24-20. Vikings seeing their playoff hopes go down the tubes. 27-20. Thomas. The forced fumble. Anthony Weaver recovers for the Ravens, who hang on and win it by a score of 30-23. Bowler was huge. Mason outstanding. And with this, the Vikings are done. There will be no postseason. The big winners, the G-Men. They can win the NFC East if they can beat Oakland at Oakland Saturday. If they lose, they can still claim the division if the Redskins lose at Philadelphia on Sunday.
Well, this thing is just about over now. They'll snap the ball, take a knee, and that'll end it. Bills are going to drop this one, and wait a second. The ball is loose. Fisher's got it, and he's got Walker to the 20. He's to the 10. Touchdown, Bills! Listen to this place! Holy moly! What? No! They're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 30.